Alright, here we go. Hello, hello. Why is the screen black? There we go. So tonight we got a little SFT. I'll be playing, and then if I'm not in the finals, I will cast. But tonight we are on the Green Boys. We got Nurgle. And I believe we're playing at Skaven. So, what do we want for Nurgle into Skaven? Kind of want to bring Kugath, I'll be honest. Vestas is probably the safer option, but I feel like I can get away with Kugath here. The Terra Source is nice. He'll also be able to beat the brakes off any Skaven characters we might run into, which are not uncommon in this matchup. Now, Children of Nurgle, we want the Mortis. Toy Conservation probably don't need, Northern Type don't need. Virulent Contagion isn't bad. And I feel like we just want loads and loads of hit points, to be honest. Nurgling should trade pretty favorably into Clan Rats. I just want to start out with a bunch of Nurglings, back them up with some Plague Bearers. Do I want Exalteds? Probably not with Globes on the field. A Grinder, don't feel that's necessary either. Exalted Hero will probably get gooned by the Skaven characters, I suspect, so we'll skip out on that for now. Chaos Knights don't sound like a terrible idea. We definitely won't start them, but not a terrible idea. They have pretty low damage output, but Skaven really struggle to remove them, aside from Rat Ogres, I guess. Their only real option. Which, with their melee defense, they should be just fine into Rat Ogres. Rat Ogres' melee attack isn't really that high. Is it? Yeah, their melee attack is only 26, they won't kill these guys. So I kind of like these guys to be our late game, just mobility piece. I'd really love another Plague Bear, but we can't quite afford it. Can we afford? I'm gonna make this spend work. And we'll get an Exalted, sure. We're gonna want a couple of Furies and Hounds. It's gonna top of any of those Skaven missile pieces. Pesky pesky missile pieces. Forsaken are never a bad choice in this Skaven. Yeah, go with a couple of Forsaken. What can we get for 650? I think the answer's not a whole heck of a lot, so we'll hit a Toad. And call it a day. We're gonna build. Do I want to build up at all? I probably want my Chaos Knights on the field before I really take a fight. Maybe my other Nurgling, maybe my Forsaken as well. We're gonna build up for a little bit before we really take an engagement. So it kind of depends on what build my opponent goes for. The more missile heavy it is, the more we're going to have to build up and sit back and wait. But I don't expect that's going to be the Skaven play. I think it's going to be more aggressive monsters and skirmish heavy. But I could be wrong, so we will see. Oh, hold on, I got a couple of DMs. Stuff. Alright, just gotta fix a couple of things determined on the back end real quick. We can get another game. Alright, I think that should fix that person's issue. Do-do-do. All right. Not taking fleshy abundance? No. Usually with these days, it's really nice to just spam your lore passive. Just this ability right here, especially with the build I have, where it's just a lot of raw hit points. It gives you me a lot more value than fleshy abundance, I find. Fleshy abundance is fine if you go for a lot of big SEMs or things that like elite targets, which I guess I do have a couple of them, but I don't know. I prefer the passive spamming because it's less active input for me, and these spells are actually pretty useful. Hello, folks. No Chaos Warriors? No, I'm trying Plague Bearers. I find Chaos Warriors, they're hard to kill, but they don't kill anything. Like, they have decent melee attack and decent weapon strength. The Plague Bearers are just much better at actually killing things, specifically things with light armor. And Skaven don't have a whole lot of magic damage, so Fizz Resist is also pretty nice for keeping them alive. And they just have so many hit points. So, I don't know. I kind of prefer Plague Bearers, but it's kind of an experiment. We'll see how it goes. Hey, Adama. Hey, World Beater. Hey, Geese. Alright, let's get this going. Right, my thought here is that the Nurgling's gonna be really nice as a front line. Just actually quick relative to Nurgle and can actually like catch up to some of the Skaven, and then they should trade well into Skaven Slaves and Clan Rats, as well as being low model counts, actually pretty resistant to a lot of the Skaven explosives, the globes, the plague claws, the mortars, that kind of thing. So I hope that they're going to be a pretty resilient front line, which will buy time for my Plague Bearers to actually get up there and get in the melee grind, and they'll just pound if they get into melee with anything. Just the 48 weapon strength. Even with, modest melee stats, the 48 weapon strength means that they will pound Skaven Slaves, Clan Rats, Rat Ogres, whatever they get their hands on, they'll tear it apart. Even against more armored things, they're not unreasonable. Like, their AP damage isn't bad. But I think what we're probably going to start out by doing is just chilling towards the back and building a little bit, because I want a couple of more units on the field before I take a fight. Because despite me, it's being quite a bit higher quality than Skaven's. can still get swarmed and shot to pieces, and so we want a few more elements on the field so we can actually swarm. We close how to actually play Nurgle? Okay. Okay, World Beater, you're welcome to try well, not anytime, not during the tournament, but if you want to try afterwards, I'm welcome to let you give it a shot. But so this we're probably just going to fall back here a bit. Yeah, I see... What shooting do I see? Okay, save 77. I don't actually see a lot of shooting. Maybe we take this fight straight up. Got some Night Runner slings. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, there's a bunch of skirmishers. That's what we're not seeing. So yeah, we're going to back off. If he wants to come into my deployment zone to start shooting me, that's fine. Kugath can actually just sit and take pot shots at whatever's expensive around here. Probably Clan Vulcan, and just take whatever's in range. We don't have a whole lot of counter skirm options. We do have some Forsaken we can bring in, as well as the Chaos Knights. But we don't make counter skirm. It's just a matter of running them down. We got a Chieftain, no Packmaster looks like, so it's just a lot of heavy skirm. Gonna back up a bit. So we want these Forsaken on the field, so we need a good bit of funds for that. And then we're gonna want the Chaos Knights. There's really nothing on the field that can actually shut down the Chaos Knights effectively. The Raiders can stop them in their place, but they can't kill them very effectively. So should be good on that front. We have to just sit and shoot the Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers. They're the most expensive thing on the field. So we need what? 850 times 2 is 1700. For the Forsaken, and then I guess maybe about 3k before we want to move. But he is ceding a lot of the high ground to me, so we can start just creeping up this way. Like I said, there's a lot of stealth skirmishers of some sort. Lord Scroll, Plague, Vermintide, Raw Corruption. Interesting. There are a lot of stealth skirmishers somewhere around here, which makes me mildly concerned. Or there's something stealth. It could be, you know, Triads or Death Runners or something, but I don't suspect it is. But we need about 3k. We've got plenty of time before we need to actually take a fight. So I'm perfectly content to just sit back for the moment. We don't really want to be taking shots from those Night Runners. We need to spread these guys out a little bit more. Was that Chieftain on a mount? He is not mounted. Okay. So the Exalt Plover is just going to try to shoot Rat Ogres, basically, then. Do we want to go in a little bit earlier? He has a pretty hefty melee blow. We can probably go a little early. Yeah, we'll start moving up on this side a little bit. There aren't any globes, which is actually pretty good for us. Take a shot and then keep moving. You gonna shoot? Oh, you did shoot. Nice. Keep moving. Yeah, start moving up. If they want to shoot Kugath, they're welcome to. It's not the most fruitful endeavor of all time. Get this Forsaken on the field, and then in a moment here we'll get this Chaos Knight, who can actually come and help us deal with these slingers. But Kugath really needs to not be the one tanking all these slingers. Ah, there are a bunch of stealth slingers. I was right. Alright, we really need those Chaos Knights on the field to actually run down all those slingers. Here we go. If they don't catch them all, if they can just get them to back off for a bit, we'll be in a much better spot. Cool. Keep Kugath moving up. Keep moving up, move up, move up. Also just ignore that blob and try to take the center fight. Have you guys just keep pushing. We need our fast units, whatever we have, to actually push after these slingers. These Nurglings on the field. Furies aren't a terrible idea. Get this Plague Bear to bog you down. And pop that. We should be able to just run through these melee lines pretty quickly. Yeah, he doesn't have a whole lot in his backfield to actually dissuade these Chaos Knights from doing what they will. Just kind of having their way with them. And now that the Ratters are rotated away from the center, we can take that fight pretty easily. Chieftain's gonna try to slow me down, but that's fine. We can just walk past him. Get me this Fury to come over here and start chasing some of these slingers. The Chaos Knights should do very good work here, though. Or not, because they're Nurgle Chaos Knights. And why would they do work?
One of your units has been destroyed.
Lost a Nurgling, that's not the end of the world. Get a nice stream of corruption right here. Are you guys doing alright? You should be able to beat those guys, right? Melee ground and low ground is going not great, but it could be worse. You guys over here and just start deleting things. You can keep moving out. Furies can keep moving on to these slingers. And now, the Chaos Knights, like I said, there's not a whole lot that can just stop them in their tracks. They're not the most high damage output unit, but there's not a lot that can stop them either. But we do need to start taking objectives pretty soon, because that's not going so well for us. Get the heal here. Get this on you. Yeah, I don't want to do that just yet. We'll make sure we're maximizing our passive. Get you on the point. You just start running down clan rats. A nice stream right there. Pull you back, you're taking a lot of damage. We're actually trading reasonably well in value, so now we just want to get some more units onto these objectives. These are not Corn Skirm Cav, I need to remember. That is one thing I need to be very cognizant of, is that they're not Corn Skirm Cav, they want to actually sit around and shoot. Just come down here and start reassuring these clan rats. Kuga can get into melee with those rat ogres would be pretty happy, but at this point I think we just want to be spamming out infantry onto the low ground. Because we've got this high ground well in hand. I feel like Kugath is on the point, which definitely won't be. You can back off until we get another fecundity. Honestly, if we just wanted to rotate our fast units towards the center to start trying to break through the center, it's not a bad spot to be in. Again, we're winning that fight, but we're not winning very quick. On top of Skrolk, get our Chaos Knights down there. You guys can start running down some of those Skaven Slip Slingers. And I wouldn't mind another unit. Actually, get some Doggos. They're actually a reasonably high DPS unit, which is few and far between for us, and get them in the back of these Rat Ogres. Plague, move you guys away from that. Are these are Night Runners and some Gutter Runners. Okay, I'm not super scared of that, I'll be honest. That's not the most terrifying group of units I've ever seen. Start running you guys off. You guys running in the back. Where am I Scrum Cap there? In the back over there. Get them to start recharging here. Get fecundity on those Chaos Knights. Kuga needs to back off. He's taking too much fire. We don't have a whole lot that can stop these slingers since we've moved it all to the low ground, which isn't the end of the world, as we are starting to take objectives, which is good. We need to make sure we're not losing the ones on the top ground, on the high ground we have actually taken. But these dogs can come start recharging wherever they can. Everything's going to be on this objective. You can come fight these spears. You can actually get in the back of them if possible. Can we pop this? Are we in range? We are in range, lovely. Chaos Knights keep cycle charging. Storm Cav are dying, which is unfortunate, but not the end of the world. Dogs can get over here. You can get on the point. You guys can actually start coming over here and eating those slingers, or do we just recharge? I think we just recharge. I don't know, I kind of want Kuga to come to the low ground because there's a massive blob there, but we also can't afford to leave the high ground unoccupied. He's kind of the only thing holding it at the moment. If he could come over here and get in the range for some spells, that'd be nice. He could hit his Toad, get it running through the center. Dogs can come over here and start recharging. You can get over here. Go ahead and pop Rot in the center. Yeah, Kugath can't stay on the high ground, honestly. I don't even think he can take care of all those slingers by himself. Start recharging these clan rats. We're starting to get a little low on time, which is the problem. There's just so much chaff. We need Kugath in the center. We can't afford to not have him there anymore. But those slingers in the high ground do concern me quite greatly. You guys are just going to rout if you come anywhere near an enemy. Kugath down here. Get that stream. You guys, there's not a whole lot of people to protect these slingers at this point, so get these Chaos Knights up here to run them down. We got other Chaos Knights on the high ground. We can actually start running those slingers and hold it without Kugath being there. That'd actually be pretty big. If we can kill this chieftain, kill the chieftain, kill the chieftain, kill the chieftain. Please. Yeah, just a lot of really low health slingers on the high ground, so if I get my other Chaos Knight up there, we'll be in a good spot. Kugath will be able to take the center. Yeah, we're actually in a pretty decent spot here. I'm a little concerned about this right-hand objective, but we can start transitioning over there after Kugath takes the center for us. Chieftain, I'm not going to be able to actually finish him off, so just turn around and kill these center units. Get you guys up here, move up. Yeah, the Chaos Knights can just clean up on the high ground in a big way, which is exactly what we need. Get that going. Right side is looking a little rough. We need to get something over there. Don't have a whole lot of fast things naturally. But the fact that we're not taking the center just yet is a problem. Kugath should be doing just fine though. Chaos Knights don't have any damage output, man. They have no damage output. At least the Nurgle ones. Some of the other ones are alright. Need to get on these objectives, and the fact that we're not holding the center is actually really concerning to me. Back in the center, back in the center. Fecundity to try and win this fight. Push you onto the center. Yeah, losing this objective hurts a lot. Yeah, we're trading alright in value. We're actually probably up in value based on all of our healing, but we just can't hold objectives because we're freaking Nurgle. Because we're too slow. We are routing off a lot of these guys though, which is very, very good. Yeah, I don't think we can get on these objectives in time. Just done with the damage output. Can't even push off to actually play those reinforcements because we need to be on the point. And the fact that we're just outnumbered so much, that's giving us so much cheap cap weight is a real big problem for us. We don't have enough time to actually summon any more infantry to cast things on the points. Nah. Can't get on the points in time.
You have been bested. There is only defeat.
Alright, let's see. Kuga felt okay. He's a massive power point for me. I don't know, he's just so slow. Maybe I've been better out for the regular result of a Great and Clean one, but he costs almost the same, so the mild speed increase just doesn't feel good. Nurglings didn't actually trade as well as I was hoping into the Clan Rats. Plague Bears didn't die either. Chaos Knights, this one was on the field the entire time, just running down slingers and didn't pay for itself, because they're dead. This is the epitome of a unit that's harmed by the Mark of Nurgle. An unmarked Chaos Knight is just so much better than a Chaos Knight of Nurgle, unfortunately. Toad did okay. I got its value, what value it got pretty quick, but it took so much damage in the meantime. The dogs did okay. They round off a couple of things, but I may need to index more heavily into dogs since they are our only real mobility tool. Yeah. And the idea of Chaos Knights, they just don't die. To some extent, but so let's look at the rest. To some extent. That's one upside of it, but just not dying. For a cav unit, not dying is only good for one thing, and that's protecting other things. So for Empire, for example, Empire Knights are great for this job. Just they're heavy knights, they don't do a whole lot of damage, but they don't die, and they keep your missiles alive. They protect your backline. For the Chaos factions, Chaos Knights don't really fill that job of protecting anything, so you don't have much to protect. Your only shooting is skirmish, which can protect itself. So the whole point of Chaos Knights is that, yes, they don't die, but they also have substantial melee stats and can actually just win melee engagements, and, you know, the Lances, that's not the Lances. Lancer Shock have a good charge bonus, but even these guys have good charge bonuses. So the idea is that they can just run things down without taking a whole lot of damage in return, and then, you know, run away and repeat. The problem for Nurgle is that their melee attack is so neutered by the Mark that they just don't have a whole lot of damage. It's 40 melee attack, like it should be fine, but I don't know, it just doesn't. The speed loss also really hurts them because speed increases the charge damage. The faster you're going, the more impact damage you have. So it's just you lose. For the Mark of Nurgle makes you lose really key stats for heavy cav unit, and it gains nice things, I guess. But Chaos Knights are already a tanky enough unit, so. Why am I being sent screenshots without context? Only is each one's useful? Yeah. Khorne one is overshadowed by the other heavy cav options. Slaanesh ones, they're fine, but why would you ever bring them when you have Hellstriders or Seekers, or even Heartseekers? Like, you don't really need that tanky mobility unit as Slaanesh for the same reason that you don't have things to protect. So if you need tanky stuff, you stick infantry, and then your cav does just fine. I think everyone mark walking in for Nurgle any day of the week. The warriors are fine. Like, the warrior grey opens are especially are pretty good. The problem is that they're a really solid anchor piece on a faction full of really solid anchor pieces and nothing else. Like, that's Nurgle's core problem, is that everything does the same job. Everything is really tanky and nothing kills anything. So that's what we really have to try to figure out here. Okay, why was I sent a screenshot with no context of an end screen? Right, I assume my opponent reported the score. I haven't actually looked. And then the next round needs to start in 15 minutes. So until then, chat, you get to just hang out with me. Or I guess we can do it whenever all the games are finished, which there's only 2 of them left, so. And look at Dog Person's reinforcing army build. Reinforcements. We got Ikit Zap, or Scroll, Ikit Zap Zap, and then a bunch of Chaff and Scams of Slingers and a couple of Ravagers. Alright, so it looks like we're just waiting on the one game to finish and we can advance to the next round. Needs the honor of the Slanesh Knights begin this each. Yeah, that's probably fair. The thing is, taking such an expensive cav unit into Tzeentch is just asking to blue fired to pieces, I feel like. Like Gaze of Fate, blue fire. It's just hard to get. It's hard to bring expensive cav into Tzeentch a lot of the time. A couple more weapons teams. Surprised by the Lore of Runecaster as well. Yeah, the Lore of Runecaster would have been what I expected. Like, I didn't want to bring Festus because I was worried of Flensing Ruin as well as like a Packmaster and a Chieftain on mounts, just coming and beating the crap out of him. What I should have had, and actually I'm an idiot for not taking his Spawn. It didn't occur to me to actually bring Spawn. I've forgotten about that unit. This is what I should have brought instead of the Chaos Knights. Yeah, weapon teams, I don't know. Some people really don't like weapon teams. I think Dog Person's in the camp of just don't bring weapon teams most of the time. I think it's pretty hard. I think it's pretty hard to sell just not bring 1 or 2 globes because they're so effective. But things like Giselles and Rattling Guns aren't essential, I don't think. We shouldn't because it's fun to use. That's fair. Well, when it actually hits things, it's fun to use. What's the spell for Ruin? What's it do? Flensing Ruin. It is the Skaven flavor of the month. It is basically kind of like Final Trance, just an AoE anti-character damage, and it just hits really, really hard for a very long time. If you overcast it, it goes to a very long duration. It just does. It's a very good blob punishment. with emphasis on killing characters and low entity units. Alright, is that other game finished? Hey, alright. We can advance the round. Alright, so we have Solo Spaghetto. And I have to do an admin thing real quick. Alright. Let's get Solo Spaghetto in here. Alright, what map are we on? It is Proving Grounds. Nice, a nice small map for me. That's not where I do maps. This is where I do maps. Didn't they nerf it? Yeah, they did. It's still quite good. What is Philip playing? I don't think he's actually playing as Kislev this time. I think he's branching out. What is he playing? Oh, nope, Kislev. Okay. This is a matchup that before Immortal Empires was really good for Nurgle. And I suspect it's only gotten better for Nurgle, actually. This might be one that's actually very doable for us. Kislev has always extremely struggled with Chaos Warriors, just shielded armored infantry. Now our damage output in melee is pretty low, but so is theirs. So if we can just survive to get to melee, I feel like we're in a pretty good spot. That said, we do need something to actually weigh down chariots. So, do you want a horse cultist or exalted heroes? What's the price difference for a horse character? Well, we're chasing around with this, so we only need that. Kind of prefer the cultist, I'll be honest. This has a lot better stats, but cultist actually have utility. And regen. What do we want? We'll go with the exalted hero. We'll give it a try. Probably take 2 of them. No, I'm doing cultists. I want to do cultists. They're more fun. Just gonna take 8 of Nurgle. It's kind of a threat. Like if they actually shoot at these guys, then I'll actually get those abilities off. Like they don't want to shoot him for that reason. So we have our shielded Chaos Warriors. Plague Bearers are probably fine to fill it out with, although the spend is awkward. Actually, probably Great Weapons. Take Great Weapons wherever we can. What else do we want? Not crazy about Spawn, but I don't know a better option. I'll bring a couple of them. Plague Bears and Chaos Warriors, like we were saying. Don't want these guys. They kind of disappointed, although I was using them more as a melee cav, kind of like the corn ones. I guess if they sit and throw, they're probably fine. And we're going to need 1 in case of a bear blob. And then do we spam out some Nurglings? I've been kind of underwhelmed with Nurglings lately. But we'll give this a go, I think. you have what we want? Yeah, you do. Alright. Since armored Kossars in our future? Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Not impressed with the Nurglings? They're doing their best, I know. I mean, they're not bad for like what they do. They're sticky, they're quick, which on Nurgle you kind of need. But I don't know, like my quest here is to find a unit that actually can do damage for me, and adding Nurglings doesn't help with that issue. Like the difficulty here is just squeezing every bit of damage output out of this roster that we can, and Nurglings don't solve that problem. Flash arrows infantry, so they barely do damage. I didn't know that, but that really doesn't help, does it? Yeah, let's chicken out of the Nurglings and just bring their Plague Bearer. Yeah, I feel like Nurglings also kind of a trap summon. Like you just panic summon them, and then you don't actually have what you need, and they don't accomplish anything. It definitely happened last game. Like I summoned Nurglings, and then they went and they didn't trade at all, and I got fucked. Are any of these things actually like good? No, the answer is no. You could get double grinder. That's not bad against skirmish heavy factions. Like a lot of like other chaos factions that can bring a lot of skirmish cav into you. Those aren't bad. Or like Dark Elves are going to use Dark Rider repeaters a lot. But into more infantry heavy factions, I've not been impressed with grinders damage in the infantry. First of all, they're not very accurate at range, so they have to get pretty close. Just fine. You usually have the micro time. Like you have plenty of time to micro them because you're so slow, but they just, I don't know, they haven't impressed me when they get there most of the time. Especially since they're shooting such cheap targets. Like they'll do better damage than skirmish cav, and skirmish cav is also more expensive than like the missile units you're gonna be shooting at. So, I don't know. Nurgle Soul Grinders just have really disappointed me a lot. Armor Center and Cultist help at all? Yeah, the Center's pretty nice.
But that's not really what we're using them for here. We're just using them to countercharge sleds if they try to get into melee too much.
Oh, being pinged. Interns Discord is not disclosed, but finding me. Missed it. Okay. Someone has the wrong number of skill points, but we can fix that later, because I don't actually know how, so we'll figure that out after this game. Alright, so we do probably want to do some degree of build-up here, which is going to be the catchphrase of me playing Nurgle, I suspect. Because we just want a lot of units on the field to really benefit from all the healing we have, as well as the fact that we don't reinforce well. Our reinforcements are so slow, so we kind of want to go in with everything as much as we can. I'm the admin. Usually it's 10 minutes. I believe it's in the tournament description. It's, yeah, if they don't get, if you send them a lobby code and they don't join within 10 minutes, then they concede. It's, they'll join within 10 minutes at the start of a round. So I started the round at, I started the round 10 minutes ago. So if they are not there, then they concede. And you can DM me and tell me that, and I can give you the win. But I have a game, so we can look at that afterwards. It's usually 15 minutes, but because we're doing Swiss rounds, which require hold on, my phone already ready. Because we're doing Swiss rounds, which are basically time sensitive, like if one person lags behind, then everybody has to wait on their games, so we're a little more strict on people showing up on time. Oh, he's on this side. I want to be on this side then. Actually, we do. We can hide in the trees. Oh, we can send a cultist over here to cap that objective. Because it's Swiss, so basically everybody plays one game, and once everybody's done, we start the next round, and everybody plays another game. If one game is slow for whatever reason, then everybody has to wait. So we're a little bit stricter about people showing up on time.
Ready to defy.
D&D Beyond tab? Did I have a D&D Beyond tab? Oh yeah. Oh no, it's just the bookmark. Yeah. Yep. I'm a nerd of many colors. Okay. You know, I can deal with this admin stuff while I'm sitting here building up. I'm not doing anything. This is the Nurgle / RTK experience. Okay. What to do? So yeah, basically we're gonna let him cap, and then once we have decided that we have a sufficient number of Chaos Warriors over here, which is probably the rest of my AP ones, we're gonna just walk these forests and just try to roll over him. That was Ice Guard, interesting. And a low Grom, which can't really do anything right now, which is exactly the type of low Grom I like to see. Boris is gonna come over here and give the smoke to my cultist, isn't he? I'm not looking forward to that, but hopefully he can cap before then. Not you. You stay there. You hide from Boris. My cultist up and see if I can waste a little bit of ammo. Maybe charge up my my summon. I don't know if Logrom has line of sight from this cliffside where he's going. I hope he doesn't. I really hope he doesn't. Come on, Boris. Don't be mean. There's no shot I can actually out on Boris, is there? 73, 82. Yeah, we need to go. Not being able to cap that point is kind of annoying. Do I want to dodge or do I just want to eat this and farm my summon? But like, look at all the ammo I'm just wasting. There's something really annoying you can do to your opponent in this kind of scenario is just take your fastest thing and just like use a fast thing to just waste their ammo. Now, like 9 times out of 10 he's not actually going to use all of his ammo, so it doesn't really matter that much. But against units with more precious ammo, like oh, bollocks, he's chasing. You know, like Scourge Runners or something like that don't have a lot of ammo. This can be really valuable until he realizes and turns off Fire at will. Now I can bring you over here and help deal with Boris. Or Boris just doesn't connect and it's not a problem. Alright, so we want our other Chaos Warrior Grey Weapon on the field, and then we're probably good to start the fight. We don't have any objectives, so we don't want to wait that long. Yeah, we're probably good to go ahead at this point. And you can just slip right through the ranks and go into that Ice Guard so they can't shoot. You can go over there and cap that one. Nice thing is, Chaos Warriors on a side objective aren't actually that scared of cavalry going and fucking with them, whereas a Nurgling very much would be. Now we are advancing at a glacial rate. Come on, Boris, hit me. I want you to do it. What was that summon? Oh, Oath Brothers. Okay, we'll need our skirmish cab to actually come in and shoot at them. Thing is, they don't kill infantry all that fast, but they will kill that cultist, who is now stuck. I may lose that cultist. We are actually moving so incredibly slowly. Oh god. Oh, that cultist is in trouble. That's not good. I mean, they aren't really necessary here because the job I brought them for isn't relevant because he doesn't have sleds. Which is good. But that doesn't mean we want to lose him for free. That angle from Will Grown is actually kind of nice. Yeah, we don't have anything to chase down the Patriarchs. That's getting rid of our cultist. Get some spawn, maybe catch me in the back, but it's not looking so hot for us. You guys come over here. Keep advancing, keep advancing. The spawner can't get there in time. We're going to lose that cultist for nothing. That kind of sucks. Stop shooting a festy boy. Didn't bring a bodyguard for me. I didn't think Kislev was going to bring up many things that were actually a threat to him. I'm going to spawn there and kill that Patriarch. That's kind of a win, to be honest. You almost have your thing available. You're still healing. Just keep moving. We're killing their infantry reasonably effectively. Over on the side, you're doing good work at the wrong target. I think I told you to do that, but it's fine. Can't get the Plague Bears over there. Get a stream through here. Now we're doing that Patriot. Alright, bring you up here. Get these spawn up here. They're still shooting at Festus, which I don't really appreciate, but these Plague Bears will put an end to that.
You have the foes.
What are those dervishes? Dervishes aren't much threat. We have some Plague Bears. Get you up here. We got Fecundity. Good. Pop it in the blob somewhere. Starting to run over his backline now, which is very, very good for us. Atriox coming over. What the heck do you think you're doing? Get a nice stream through here. A little scared of those like elite units they have over here, like the Bears and the Boris. Boris actually taking a lot of damage from the infantry though. It's pretty good for us. Armored Cossars, it's fine. Bring you guys over here. You guys come up here and drop a Plague Bear summon. Plague Bears are actually one of our more damage-heavy units, and honestly, I feel like we just want to start mortising these elite units down. Kind of regretting not having a second axe thrower, because they're doing pretty good work for me against those bears. They're really the only thing I have that does. I really don't have anything to deal with that low Grom meter, so we're just gonna have to let it shoot. There's not anything we can do about it really. Where's this cultist? Cultist can get into these armored Cossars and make them slightly less armored Cossars. Nerf Boris' damage output before he nerfs our HP.
Warriors of Nurgle.
You're doing good work. Oh wow, yeah, you are doing good work. Don't shoot my Skirm Cav, that's rude. Don't do it. Grab some Nurglings. We do almost need the 3 cap, which is not good. Festus is in trouble, so we need to heal. The anti-infantry Ice Guard actually do really well into Festus. We need this cultist to come bail him out as well. Festus, no! I can't lose Festus 2 games in a row. Do we have infantry over here? Not a whole lot. We need to summon in some more when we can. Or bring some over from this objective. Drop Fecundity in that blob. Festus, start running towards these guys who can bail you out. We're going to open over here because we need that other objective. We're beating those dervishes, get some infantry over there. Let's get another Plague Bear on at this point. Plague Bears are really good once their infantry have largely worn out. Boris can go away, please. The nice thing is Boris doesn't actually have any healing, so we might be actually able to kill him if we get these spawn on top of him. Actually, that's a blatant lie. There's a Patriarch here that has healing. I forgot. I always forget the Patriarchs exist. On top of them. Okay, we're doing pretty well here, actually. We're gonna start taking this objective, and there's not a whole lot of damage output from my opponent over there. It's just Kossovite Dervishes and Winged Lancers that don't really threaten us a whole lot. Festus needs to stay nearby to keep healing. Yeah, but the thing is, their cav just doesn't really damage our infantry. Our infantry, at least. Plague Bears, I wouldn't mind if you guys actually come over here, get that cultist back in the fight. You guys can desummon. Actually, don't bother. We have enough healing that we can keep you in the fight a long time. Alright, we're taking this objective. You'll do fine into dervishes. You're doing fine to those Winged Lancers. Keep the debuffs going on that blob, and I'd really love another Chaos Warrior. I guess Warrior Dragon was actually doing really well against their characters, so keep it going. Can we get an angle on you? We'll take it.
I am overwhelmed. Blade and pestilence.
Yeah, we're losing that blob fight pretty heavily. We need infantry to come protect Festus. Are both my cultists gone? No, we still have one in that fight. Good. The Oath Brothers are a bit of a problem though, so get some infantry with that help. We're winning this fight, looks like. Yeah, we're popping a lot of their passives. Fecundity, we can probably pop it over here. Yeah, pop it here. We have Festus healing for this blob, so I'm not super concerned. Get our horses to intercept them just so they don't kill Festus, because killing Festus is kind of their win condition here, I think. Like, if they kill Festus, we're pretty fucked. Little scared of Art of Winter in that blob, I'll be honest. But I guess we'll just try and out-heal it, as is Nurgle's way. Do we even need a 3-cap? We don't need a 3-cap. Lovely, so no more reinforcements to the right side. Right, I love Spawn. Spawn are our best tool for this blob fight at this point. Both brothers are gone. There's only one model. I don't care about you anymore. Just go ahead and send you guys in to get the Spawn. Great, everyone come hold down this objective. Build you. Alright. And where's the caster at? The caster's chilling back there. Little scared of that Heart of Winter, as I mentioned. Keep casting spells and passive spamming. I said, don't need to win this fight, although we might, because these Armored Chaos Warriors and Plague Busters are really good into Cav. Cav don't do a whole lot of damage to them. Healing Blob's doing pretty good work. I want you to be desummoned, because I want more ammo. I think we're in a pretty good spot. Finally found a matchup that a shit tier faction can win, and it's against another shit tier faction. Who knew? Do we resummon a cultist? I don't think we do. I don't think that's the play.
Time to move.
You guys can start. Actually, no, it's a full health. Never mind, it's a full health Gossard. Go kill it. If there's nothing back there for you to kill, then by all means leave, but there's stuff there for you to kill. Alright, I want that horseman back, but he's not ready yet. And yeah, we don't have to. Oh, that's not good. More heals! Run away if you can, but you're probably boned. Don't kill Festus. Please no. Oh, that hurts. That really hurts. Oh, really nice shot from low ground, jeez. Okay, good. We got a nice surround on this Patriarch.
All hail decay!
Into position.
I'm able to kill off that Patriarch. I assume he's out of ability usages at this point. Give me some throwing axes over here to come help deal with these single entities.
Filth shall prevail.
Listen, when I don't bring Kugath, I have very, very little SEM killing power.
Sickness personified.
But I do have an unkillable blob. I really wish you could track how much healing has been done. Because, like, Festus only has, like, 1200 value, but I'm sure he's provided a lot more considering the fact that he's been passive spamming and healing his entire blob this whole time. And circling it while we beat down on Boris. Almost really hoping that would friendly fire. That blob's almost heal capped, so Festus can wander off and go do other things this time. Yeah, can we get you guys also? Are you not? How are you still firing, Lil Grom? That's cheating. It seems very unfair. Hey, can you guys just get a shot on him? If you can get a shot on him, suddenly our ability to kill him just skyrockets. Of course, if Wing Lancers are coming after him, that changes pretty substantially. I'll just mortise them down. You guys actually able to shoot? More Cav. Like these two infantries have been grinding against all this Cav for so long, and they're gonna keep going even longer if I drop a fecundity. Alright, come on back over this way. Get some more heals. Some other cultists, yeah? You can go help fight for us. Get the healing back going, because our spawn can also use a lot of healing. Get you on the far side of Boris. Can you shoot Boris? I'm trying to move too much, but no, you really can't shoot Boris. It's getting on my nerves. I really want Boris to die. He's annoying. He tried to kill my Festus, which I do take personally. It's a personal affront to Nurgle.
Let there be rot.
There we go. You got an angle? Do you? Come on. Throw for me.
Fall back. Doctor Festus.
They're not throwing. And Boris is living. And I don't like either of these things. And we'll kill him eventually, but that's not the point. The point is to send a message.
By the power of Gallagher.
They have not consumed any ammo.
They will succumb.
How's the fight on?
Warriors of
Going
Nurgle.
just fine. We're the infantry coming back, but we're doing just fine. We're still winning this fight, by the way. Kislev Cav is so tragically terrible. It's so tragic how bad they are. Oh my god, Boris has gotten so much value. I mean, we're kind of feeding into it by giving him this big blob to fight in. Exactly what he excels at, but I mean, there's not a lot left on the field because this is Kislev's biggest problem is they can't cycle their infantry. If your infantry died like 4 minutes in, and it is 15 minutes, or we're just seeing it come back, that's the big problem that Kislev has. Also, aside from like they're severely limited infantry they can bring, because all of their infantry are missile infantry. They'll bring 12 of those. Hey, he's finally dying. You know what? Mortis, finish him off. Send a message. Glorious.
An enemy lord.
Lovely. All right. Now, my objective. Go take it.
Faster. Spreading decay.
Leave some stuff behind, but I want that objective, so I'm gonna go take it. We'll send a Chaos Warrior over there. We'll send Festus over this way as well.
Faster than decay. More orders of Nurgle.
Oh, yeah, you have a summon. You have a fresh one, too.
Decay. Old Sawbones provides.
The rot rises.
I forgot he refreshed his summon charge.
Doctor Festus.
About the bump and grinding name of grandfather. Absolutely.
Close on the
Don't catch Festus, that's rude.
Nurgle gods.
I know he is quite the catch, but he's not for you. He's for me. Scrum Cav, run! When did you get put on Scrum mode? Have they been on Scrum mode this whole time and that's why they weren't shooting?
They will
If so, then I'm very sad.
Unending glory is yours.
Alright, GG's. Alright, let's go put in our score. Platypus 1. I said there's one more game being played. Tim approved build-up, indeed. PTSD from 2X Cultist meta? It was such a fun meta, though. Nurgle was a lot of fun back then. Cultist did good work. I mean, this one was summoned twice, so I kind of messed up with it initially. Grandma's did really good work, actually. Yeah, like I said, the Chaos Warriors, Nurgle's Chaos Warriors are really solid, but, you know, they just need supporting elements that function. Alright, so just waiting on that one game, so I think probably started late because they were having, somebody was late. I think. What are you guys up to in chat? Yeah, Cultist Meadow is fun. Outreach, did you find your opponent? Because I think it's your game we're waiting on. This is why you kind of shared skills. Yeah. Yeah, you need them to kill all the armored shield infantry, or you need Zargard. But Zargard into Vestus with stream is kind of sketchy. So what would you do for Kislev in that matchup? Where is Kislev? I don't know where to find faction unless like Kislev says I should never play them. I don't love the bears. They're anti-large, and you're not really scared of anything Nurgle has that's large. Aside from, I guess, maybe Kugath, but you can shoot Kugath. Sleds are always good, but I understand not wanting to play sleds, so I feel like you should need Zargard great weapons, especially the Arwar is pretty good. Here, I suspect. Fire damage in a Nurgle seems relevant. Like, your shooting is just so useless against Chaos Warriors. Like, the Kossars, even the Streltsy into the shielded ones aren't that good. Maybe a Bear Blob, even. Honestly, I feel like go for a heavy bear and just try to just chunk in with that, and you can actually bully Festus. I wonder if maybe the Bear Blob. Usually the big problem with going for an SEM blob like that is your opponents just out-rotate you and take fights away from it. But against Nurgle, they're not out-rotating anybody. The only Streltsy has AP missiles is such a pain. Yeah. It'd be kind of nice if Ice Guard were AP. I know, I still stand by the fact that just the bigger problem is, well, it's just that everything counts as a missile unit under the cost of like 1,000 aside from their cav. It's like all of these are missile units, all of these are missile units, these two are missile units. It's like, well, once you hit your missile cap, which you do very quickly, it's like, well, we have our missile units. It's like, there's your 12 missile units, and now look at your roster. I can spend not even that much money on all my missile units, and now I have 1, 2, 3, 5. So we'll call that 4.5 for the Oath Brothers. So 7.5, 9.5, or 10. Yeah, 10 units. It's like, well, now I have 10 units to pick from for the rest of my army, which is pretty pricey. And I don't have a Lord, but you know, you get my point. The roster shrinks so much with the missile cap, and you always hit the missile cap so early. If you want any kind of width, you're just screwed. It feels so bad for Kislev. Yeah, the speed is pretty rough too. Oh, that's right. I need to fix somebody had too many Swiss points, and I don't actually know how to fix that, so time to figure it out. Let's have a less supply cap. We get 500 gold at pyramid infantry. Yeah, a bit. But another problem honestly is just that their faction passive makes it so they stay on the battlefield way longer than they want to. Like, they hold, but they're not doing anything while they're holding, especially like the missile units, the Kossars. Like, they're holding, but you kind of want them to run away. They're not a melee infantry, so they're just forced into melee longer, which means they're just taking heavy losses, and they're not routing to actually get off the map. So it actually feels really bad, I feel. This admin page for Total Tavern needs a dark mode. It really needs a dark mode. How do I... Aha! I found it. Maybe pass on elite units. So have I? Yeah. Yeah, it's good on dervishes. It's good on like super cheap chaff, but Kislev only has dervishes that fill that role. So. Alright, so let's look at the scores. So far we have a couple people already up in an early lead to 2 Swiss points. We have Dog Person, Chromag, and Noctrum. What factions did I play? I saw Dog Person playing Skaven earlier. Then we had, what? Noctrum and Chromag. Noctrum is on Bretonia, and Chromag is on Empire. So all the Order factions taking over today. Alright. So wait on that one game. What's our next map? Next map is Bleakspire Labor Camp. This is actually another map. It's not that bad for Nurgle, which I swear I wasn't thinking about when I picked the maps. It's fairly tight, and there's a lot of trees that I can hide in to avoid getting shot, which is kind of the full-term goal, is just not getting shot. I do kind of want to try some Exalted Kraken Clean One builds tonight. Like, Festus is good. I want to try this big boy. The problem is he costs like almost as much as Kugath. We're taking this, we're taking, you know. He still costs 2,900. Whereas Kugath, with the kit you take, he's like, yeah, 3k, so it's like, well, 100 gold less. For a lot less hit points. And worse melee, actually, way better melee stats. But, and you know, you lose the missile attack, but you gain 8 speed, which is actually pretty relevant for these guys. They want to rotate a lot. They're actually faster than Festus, which is kind of nice. Alright, the games are completed. Advance the Swiss League. Alright, what we got? Alright, I need to tell people. And we have my clanmate, Alls. Nice. I get to beat up on my clanmates. Yay. That's Alls playing. Alls is playing. Where is it? Oh, Norska. Okay. This one's actually not too bad. I'm gonna pass. Oh. Alright, Norska Nurgle actually isn't that bad for Nurgle. Question is, how do we want to play this? I think we want to do something kind of fun. We want, actually, do we take Frunkle here? I'll be honest, I kind of want to take Frunkle. Okay, yeah, leave Alls before I start talking about the build more. Yeah. Alls in here stealing my builds, SMH. So you really want a Soul Grinder here because Skirmcav is a thing. A very, very scary thing. I think we're actually going to reserve it. What I want here is actually... Oh, wait. My thought for this matchup was based on playing Walk, not playing Nurgle. So I was thinking Festus Double Giant would be really good here, but that's not something I can do. So, we're going to try this bad boy. We do the same. Actually, for this, we probably do take Fleshy. We don't need Lore Passive, we don't need Arctic Conduit, we just need those two. And then we are taking Frunkle. Do we take Frunkle? It's such a risk. But it's a good meme, so we're gonna do it. Probably take Great Open Warriors, we're not that scared of shooting. Sure, why not? For the price, we'll take it. This makes the spend work. And then we're just gonna need lots and lots of bodies, so I feel like our Marauders lose to theirs, so it's a pretty rough situation to be in to actually bring them. I feel like we're spending a lot on our single entities, we just want cheap chaff to sit under them. We kind of got to rely on our single entities to win the fight for us. There are a couple of big things. Yeah, it's not aren't bad here, because Norska doesn't have much mobile AP. Aside from the Maws of Savagery, which I'm not super concerned about. Skirmcav is a no-go. Don't need Plague Drones. I think we just want you. And one of you. We'll send it. Nope. Wrong banner. Frunkle sucks. I know. You don't never let them anticipate your next move. Oh, wrong map. What is it was? I'm not host. Alls told me to change the map. SMH. I'm not the host. I thought I put us on the right map before. You know, get a pox or something similar to blues and pinks from Zinch. Yeah. Would be kind of neat. This is like the Exalted Plague Bearer ammunition without the elite infantry attached. Would be kind of cool. I'd like to see them get a mortar piece, kind of like a Plague Burst Crawler from 40k. Get that mobile SEM mortar piece. I think that'd be really cool. Give them some kind of like actual damage output unit. Give his missile. Which honestly could probably be Spear. He's gonna want like the Chorf trains coming out and do something like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. I don't know if it fits in the setting. It probably doesn't, but I don't know. I just really like that unit from 40k. It's pretty cool.
Fight as one.
Alright.
Plague kin.
The goal is to fight a very concentrated fight in this little pole right here. Fighting on Objective 1 is not in our game plan. We are fighting in the pit surrounding our singletons. We really just want an SEM blob as close together as we can, and these objectives the closest. So, ready, GLHF. Honestly, as much as this is probably gonna be cursed, I'm about to say, I wouldn't mind seeing Nurgle get something like Globadiers, like almost just something like a plague, you know, like a plague thrower kind of thing. That functions more like a globe, where it's just that explosion of poison. I think that's pretty thematic. Like, we're gonna need the grinder out here to shoot these Skirmcav. What do you mean it ain't gonna go well? It's a perfect, flawless strategy. What could possibly go wrong? Hype for dwarfs, yeah. Yeah, it should be pretty good. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't used Uncle Frunkle in an actual game before, so. Just basic horsemen. More horsemen. And we need the grinder out here to actually shoot them for us. Once the grinder's out here, we can actually, like, leave the trees, but as is, if we leave, we're gonna get shot to pieces, so we're gonna hide for the moment. Once we have the grinder, we can use our big SEMs as bait to get this Skirmcav to come and try to shoot us, and get some nice close-range shots on them. Versus all, how hard can it be? That's mean. There we go. Our little Grindero is on the field. No more fun shall be had by the Skirm Cav, and now we can start moving out. We really want to take the objective. We don't want what happened in our first game to happen to us again. Like, that was rough. Take a pot shot. I see Wolfric sneaking up to try and deal with this grinder, and I'm not about it. Okay, the Skirm Cav gonna dodge that shot? Looks like, where did... Oh. What the heck? What were you aiming at?
Greater demon of Nurgle.
Hey, Wolfric, be a bro. Don't do it. Don't do me like that, Wolfric. Bring some Nurgles out. Hopefully they can just try and absorb some shots. Alright, have Frunkle. Start Spirit Leeching. I don't think he's prepared. He's not prepared for the Frunkle.
Joyous destruction. Spreading decay with toxic intentions.
Oh my goodness, Spirit Leech did so much damage to Wolfric. It's way more than I was expecting. Alright, we need bodies out here just to provide support for our SEMs. The Manticore is cute.
A bilious trail. Joyous destruction. Bringing the rot.
Honestly, we should be sending our Chaos Warriors to the right and our Nurglings to the left, because that's where our SEMs are. Like, we want the Nurglings to fight with our SEMs, and the Chaos Warriors are more dependent to fight on their own. But this is where we are now, and I can't fix it because they're too slow. Alright, beat that Manticore's booty. Spam this with bodies, get you guys on there. More Nurglings in the wrong spot, oh well. Keep it nice and close, that Manticore is done for. Marauder's taking a lot of damage, good, good, good. Yeah, this whole guy's actually chunking out the Horseman pretty well, which is kind of what we wanted to see. Get you guys over here and beat on these trolls. You'll do good work. Actually, yeah, this is where we want you to be. Let's do that. I need some kind of damaging unit up on this right side, and I forgot my fucking spawn again. Man, I keep forgetting to spawn. I don't have a lot of options, I'll be honest. We just need to get you guys up here. Breaking you guys off pretty quick. Trolls are gone. Alright, just don't chase the trolls so we can't catch them. Just fight where we can catch. The Skirm Cav doing a very insignificant amount of damage to our characters, so... Our characters can hold the center objective pretty much on their own. Just need a little bit of infantry. So we're gonna send everything else we have to this other objective. This is some, like, big like, pre-IE Nurgle strategy. This is what you always used to do. It's just a matter of, like, you have Kugath and an SEM on one objective, and then whatever else you could afford onto the other objective. Oh, I missed. Kill Wolfric really pretty big. Just keep sending out the infantry. We just really want to hold that objective. Also, I'm kind of tempted to just start rotating towards this blob fight. Oh, we got 2 units there. Maybe we can hold that. Right, you stay there for the moment. You can go fight. Wolfric is low enough that he's not a huge threat to anyone. We really want healing. I guess that's where... But it's not super valuable. It's not very valuable units for healing. So I don't love it. Not really concerned about those jabs. I'll be perfectly honest. We have so much healing. There's nothing really to be afraid of. You need to stay there and keep draining. Can you pop that on that blob? You can. Lovely. Alright, it's time for Soul Stealer. I mean, a complete unique ability that's never been seen anywhere else. Yeah, totally. Did that hit? Oh no, that's the... Jeez, those jabs. Okay, remember I said I wasn't scared of jabs? Suddenly I'm scared of jabs. Go, 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 go. Suddenly I'm extremely scared of jabs. I kind of want the Chaos Knight on the field. Just to have some mobility presence, but saving up for it at this moment feels really bad.
Mightiest time.
Alright, Uncle Frunkle can help hold that one. Oh shit, my characters are dying. Jabs, man. The skirm cav aren't a huge problem, but those jabs just destroy me, man. I always forget just how much jabs do.
Harbinger of rot. Lord of maggots.
Run!
Wherever.
This is a really bad spot to be in. This is like the absolute last place we want to be. Pop a heal.
Rust and rot. I spread destruction.
This is a pretty massive throw from me. Oof. No!
Harbinger of rot.
Fecundity! Heal me!
Father Nurgle himself. Waker of command.
No,
Shit.
the enemy has slain our lord.
Shit.
Sickness. Oh, hapless to move.
Well,
Blade Father's vanguard. Yes.
this could have gone worse, I suppose. Maybe?
One of your units has been destroyed.
I didn't think the jab. I didn't realize just how fast. I know jabs are a good unit, but jeez, these guys fired a couple of volleys and already paid themselves. Like, oh my gosh, yeah. Jabs are so good.
Blisters, fevers, weeping sores.
See this cav charge. Okay, that was actual damage. It wasn't exceptional, but it was damage. But yeah, no, we're boned without the Lord.
You have been bested. There is only defeat.
Well, there was an attempt. Yep. Okay. Festus it is. Festus for all time. And also immediately leaves. Just instant mic drop. Well. Look at the bright side. Yeah, just memeing, bro. Alright, so someone said their opponent had to drop. Oh, nope. Okay, they took care of it. And I got rolled very quickly, so we're going to be here for a moment waiting for another game, because I think I'm the only game that's finished at this point. Yeah. Every other game is still in progress. So we're going to be here for a moment. And the Harley Griffin Warriors don't do crap against Marauder champs. Yeah. I'm not surprised to hear that. I was hoping the Mortis could do work, but, well, that went poorly. Yeah, I think you just gotta go with Festus. The Great and Clean ones are massive targets. Oh, Kugath actually has, like, missile resist, doesn't he? Kugath has, no, he has 20% fizz resist, and then a little more armor, which is nice, but... Yeah, just a massive, unarmored SEM against Norska that's low mobility is just kind of asking to get jabbed. So, oh well, now we know. I have suffered for your education. Are you guys grateful? I know they're gonna learn nothing, and we'll probably do it again next game. Depending on the matchup. I think the Herald on a Plague Drone, it's fine. I'm sure it's suffered for science, yeah. If you want a Deathcaster, the Herald on the Plague Drone is like the go-to. But it's really hard to beat Festus' healing a lot of the time. And you kind of need a Mortis, like... I don't know. If you took the Herald and put it onto another roster, it'd be fine. It's just that Nurgle's really, really reliant on the Mortises. You just kind of need them most of the time. But it has some nice abilities. Like, the heal is really... The passive healing is nice. Filth Mace causing terror is pretty cool. As well as the Armor Sender. The Armor Sender Plague. Corroded Armor. Paragon Decay is fine. But also, this isn't the one. This is the wrong one. The Herald. Yeah, Deathcaster on Rodfly. It's like the only Lord you have with actual mobility, which is really, really nice. Locus of Facundi is actually, yeah, I forgot about this. This is a really nice heal as well. It's just hard to beat Festus. Like, either you bring Festus, or you can't bring him because he's like not safe enough, in which case you usually can bring Kugath instead. It was Kugath in round 1. Killed it too, just through. Yeah. Exalted Heroes on Horse carried? Interesting. I've not been a fan of that unit because they're expensive and I don't like paying for things. But they are exceptionally tanky. You know, 120 armor, the Helm of Many Eyes for like such a massive buff. Missile Resist Aura is kind of... Actually, the Missile Resist Aura is really compelling. 1200 though. 1200. Alright. I'm gonna grab some water while we have this break. I will be right back. Alright, I am back. If Fuzz can represent Nurgle, I mean, if you win, you'll be in finals. Are you winning? a bunch of games going on, so we got a little bit of time. You want to Nurgle? No. I don't think I'm gonna make a finals. I'll probably be casting, not playing. I mean, there's a chance we'll get a Nurgle if out of region I get matched against each other. But finals will not be a Nurgle because I think I won the one game, but I'd be surprised if 2 wins is enough to make finals. 2 wins would not be enough to make finals unless something weird happens. So. Yeah, there's a 4th round. If we match in the 4th round, we'll get a glorious Nurgle mirror. What map will be on? It'd be funny if it's just on like a really tiny map. Gates of Ekrund. No, it's not super small. Gates of Ekrund. The only fair fight is Nurgle for Nurgle. Yep. I guess with Nurgle, like there are a couple of matchups that are good for Nurgle. Like Kislev's fine for them, Khorne is fine for them, but those ones like it's good for Nurgle. It's just really bad for your opponent. Like it's the kind of factions like either they have the stats to accomplish the goal or they don't, and if they do, it feels really bad to play against them because there's just not much that your opponent can do, or like they have to work a lot harder than the Nurgle player. Or the opposite where you just don't have the stats. It's like, well, no matter what you do, they're not going to make it. Which is why I'm kind of okay with them sucking. As much as I do like Nurgle, they're cool. That kind of style where it's just, well, a stat check. There's not a lot of player agency as the Nurgle player. Not a huge fan of. I don't think that makes very engaging competition at the highest level, so you don't want that to be meta. Which is kind of the problem we have with counts right now. Counts aren't quite as bad as Nurgle as far as player agency. There's more you can do as a counts player than as a Nurgle player. Like you have those SEMs to actually get in the right places and use well. You have Cav, you have more mobility tools, but it is in large part the same stat check mechanic where they just have that massive healing blob of zombies and skeletons and corpse carts and the crypt horrors. It's just so hard for anything to kill them. So it's like, well, your opponent has to find, first I'll find a faction that's physically capable of dealing with all the hit points, which there aren't many. And then actually substantially outplay the counts player. Because the counts player can definitely, slack a little bit and still get away with a lot. And that doesn't make for a very interesting gameplay, in my opinion. For Rot Knights and Battle Trolls to bring some damage to the roll. Battle Trolls would be really cool. I don't know what Rot Knights would be. They sound cool, but I don't know what that... I assume it's an armored character or an armored unit mounted on something. Yeah, Nurgle really needs some kind of damage. Like, they could survive without, any more mobility. But the thing is, like I was saying earlier with Chaos Knights, like, the Mark really harms a lot of units. Like, Skirmcav that just want their speed, getting Mark of Nurgle, they don't want to be in melee, so... Or for very long, like, the only time they want to be in melee is opportunistic, like rear charges, where they only care about their melee attack and their weapon strength. So, like, they're actively harmed by having those stats. Furies are harmed by having those stats because they are another, like, pure damage unit. Warhounds are harmed by the... Oh, no, Warhounds don't have Mark of Nurgle. That's why they're actually a good unit. Interesting. Yeah. Monsters Cat with regen, Nurgle Skull Crushers. Ooh, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. Also, having Rot Flies be functional would be a big boon for Nurgle. Because they are one of the more damage-heavy units. They actually have more melee attack than defense and AP. So having those guys be functional, even if they aren't broken, just having them working as intended would be nice. Same with Toads. Like, if Toads could actually be an anti-infantry clearing tool, and Rot Flies would be an anti-armor clearing tool, Nurgle would be in a much better place. Like, things right now, you look at monsters and beasts, and like, what units can you actually bring here that function well? It's like, well, dogs and furies, sometimes spawn, sometimes the barons. There's just so much trash here that you cannot, that just doesn't function properly. Like the Toads and the Pox Riders, the Rot Flies, they just don't work as intended. The Shrine is alright. The SAMs aren't really necessary in Dom. But the fact that you have 4 units, that's a large chunk of what is supposed to be your mobility, as well as your damage output, that just do not function as intended, really, really feels bad. Having damage is fine, they'd be tougher. Butterflies, be like Blood Knight thing. Resist, range resist until in melee. Get melee defense. I don't love that. Like, it makes sense thematically, but it's kind of goes back to what I was saying about skill expression. Like, that doesn't add much dynamic play. Like, it just says, well, now we have more stats. And that's not that interesting to me. It would make sense. Like, I wouldn't be that upset if they added it, but I feel like they can do better. And like, it feels bad having all these units on your roster that just don't function. Like, you'd almost rather just not have them than see what is such a cool unit and know that it's just terrible and you can never bring it. So Plague Toads are just one of the most unique units in the game. Like, their animations are just so silly and their models are so funny looking. I love them, but they don't do anything. It sucks. East and Norska, another one. It's a really funky looking model that's really entertaining. They're just not very good. Although to be fair, these ones are more because of the nature of Dom and that you don't want the single entities. The single entities aren't that relevant. Slime Toes, okay. These guys aren't actually like bad. Like, they do what they're intended to do. They're just not that goal isn't useful. But alright, I should check on tournament bracket. Are the games done? We're still waiting on 2 more games. Dreadsword and Ice Bear. Maybe Destroyer for they're rare. Cool things. Dreadsword's pretty good, but yeah, I get your point. I mean, that's the dream, though, isn't it? That the cool stuff is also the good stuff. Like, we've been in this eternal infantry meta where it's like, well, what's good? And it's like the cheap infantry that's kind of generic in all factions, and that's kind of lame thematically and as a spectator. So the perfect world is where all those unique units, things that make the factions really cool, is good. Yeah, that's why I like Dark Elves. Like, Dark Elves get to bring a lot of their cooler units. They bring where are Dark Elves? They get to bring Malekith on a dragon. They bring, you know, Corsairs or infantry. They're still pretty cool. They bring the Handbows, the Scourge Runners, the Dark Riders, Coldwood Knights, Manticores. They don't bring the monsters that much, but they use a large part of their roster. They use a lot of the cool stuff. But then you have a faction like Norska where it's like, well, what's good on this faction? And it's like, well, it's pretty much all contained in this row right here. It's just the infantry. No, the Javs are good too. The Skirmish Cav are good too. But Skirmish Cav aren't unique to this faction. They don't play any different. They have a couple of good things in monsters, but like Famir are terrible and they're pretty cool and unique. Skin Wolves are okay. Skin Wolves aren't bad. Mammoths are pretty bad. Frostworms are okay. Cold Voiders. Well, the Cold Voiders are okay. The Frostworm is bad. It's just like, well, infantry. High Elves are another one where it's like, well, what's good? It's the infantry and the archers. Everything in this row is pretty bad. Except like the Sun Dragon. Sun Dragon's okay. Like, a lot of their cool stuff, all of their unique stuff you just don't get to play. So it makes all the factions feel a lot more similar than they ought to. I've forgotten where I was going with that rant, or what started that rant. Hey, yeah, cool stuff being good. That's the dream. I also don't know what the Kai Destroyer for Chorfs is. I haven't actually watched most of the Chorf videos, I'll be honest. Norska's faction is the most viable roster of all factions. There are very few unusable units. Norska has... Well, let's talk about their unique units. So their infantry, champions, and berserkers are, I guess, unique, but we're talking about infantry being boring as a premise. Let's just ignore infantry. Javs are pretty good. That's cool. Skirmcav aren't unique. Chariots aren't that unique. Well, this one's unique, but neither of them are any good. Dogs are dogs. There's a dime a dozen in every faction. Trolls. Ice trolls are a little unique, I guess. Like, they have extra fire weakness, they cause frostbite, but at the basic, they're just trolls. Manticores aren't unique. Famir are bad. Giants aren't that good for Norska. Mammoth, and all the big monsters are bad. Or not that great. So it's like, well, the unique units you to use are like Ice Wolves and Skin Wolves. It's like they're a small roster, so they don't have that many unique units, but the ones that they do have, you don't get to use that much. So, massive wingless dragon thing. Ah, the end of the thread. Okay. Mirror dragons to some extent. Mammoths are probably the only thing units you're not using. Yeah, those are, in my opinion, the most interesting parts of the faction. I don't know. Maybe Norska's a poor example. I think Kyle's probably a better one. Or, you know, Lizards. They have just such a massive roster. It's like, well, what do you use? You use Saurus, you use Skinks, Skirmishers. It's like, well, almost nothing in the Monsters and Beasts category is good, aside from, like, Rev Crystals, the Shredder. Maybe Dancing the Gods is okay. And then Missile Monsters, like, well, half of it's good, most of it sucks. So, like, we're not in a bad spot. Like, there's some decent roster diversity amongst the factions, but there could be a lot more. And the fact that you can see all those units that are just complete trash makes you kind of yearn for even greater diversity. So, like, Skaven are a good example of the opposite. Like, I feel like Skaven have a massive roster and a lot of it is usable. For Skaven, the only infantry that's really unusable, I'd say, is, like, Light Monks. Death Runners are usable. Storm Vermin aren't great, but they have their uses. Death Runners are pretty good. Yeah, Warp Grinders are even okay. A lot of these missiles are good. Actually, are any of these missiles unusable? Maybe Warp Fire Throwers are bad. Like, there's just so much depth to this roster, and so much of it is good. Mutant Rat Ogres are the bad one here. Brute Horrors, you don't see Brute Horrors a lot, but you see them as mounts a lot, and they're pretty good as mounts. Elpits are fine. Like Rat Ogres, like, you use so much of this. No, I'm not talking about the Chariots. The Chariots don't exist. Like, they have a massive roster, and you can use a lot of it, and that gives that makes Skaven a lot of fun, and also pretty hard to prep against, because they can just play in so many different ways. That's very, very interesting to me. And that makes things fun, and that's one of the reasons I like Skaven. Most of the Greenskins roster is viable. Well, none of the Greenskins roster is viable, because Greenskins are just terrible, but... no, Greenskins have... I agree with you, but it's based on Greenskins having a lower bar, because nothing on their roster is that good, so it makes everything else... There's not much disparity among the roster. Everything's about... It's internally quite balanced. The problem is externally, it's pretty shit. Yeah, I would agree. Most of these things are pretty usable. Greenskins too. I mean, they have a lot of redundancy. Like, they have all these different types of archers that don't have a whole lot of difference. Same with just a million different types of infantry, although these ones... There is some nuance to the Greenskin infantry. But, yeah, Greenskins do have a lot of units that are rival. Alright, let's check the bracket. Alright, we are good to go. Van Swiss. Alright, we got Hadries, who I think is playing Corn. Alright, so yeah, he's on Corn, which means it's actually a decent matchup for us. But this map, oh, it's probably like the worst map for this matchup, because it's actually pretty rotation focused. We're gonna play on the double hillside, probably. But we are bringing a good old Ugath. What else do we want here? What do we want? I'm really not sure what to expect. I haven't seen this matchup in quite some time. Well, let's go with the Skirm Cav. That's probably the biggest threat, is their axe throwers, because they'll do quite a number to Kugath, and Kugath is kind of our win con, just the Mortis blob. How do we deal with that? I feel like we want Exalted Plague Bearers here. They are allowed to throw. If we can manage to let them throw, they'll delete Minotaurs, which are a pretty big threat, but we need something to zone out their Skirm Cav, and I don't want to use Grinders here. I just don't want to commit that much to a range core. I think we're going to have our own horsemen in our reserves. Just bring a couple of our own horsemen. They don't need to win the fight with Khorne Skirmcav. They just need to, you know, contest it and make them waste their time and ammo. And I think we also want some cheaper chaff as well. Oh wait, this isn't my lobby. Play kind of like a Demons at Chaos setup where you set the cheap chaff in the front to catch your opponent's charges, and then the Plague Bears to punish them with their missile attack, and they can move into melee with Kugath. We are going to have to play on the extended side, though. Playing on the isolated objective is going to be really difficult with our mobility disadvantage. I assume these guys suck into Fleshhounds. I'm going to assume everything sucks into Fleshhounds. A couple of dogs. Just need some sort of mobility. Be a Fury to help get after those Skirmcav. They're going to lose the Skirmcav in melee. Spawn seemed like an appealing option. I suspect there won't be that many anti-large minos because anti-large, I think Nurgle isn't known to bring a lot of large. So I suspect there'll be a lot of anti-infantry, so bring some Mina or some Spawn. Furies are actually decent to Fleshhounds. Yeah, normal ones are, but I suspect these ones are going to do a lot worse. But also, I wasn't bringing the Furies to fight the Fleshhounds. I was bringing the, well, okay, because the Furies were my idea of dual skirmish cav, which I don't think will do that well. They'll do okay into Fleshhounds. They won't stop them from doing their job, what the Fleshhounds want to do anyway, so I think I'll skip out on them. Plague Bears or Chaos Warriors. I kind of leaning towards Plague Bears. They just hit really hard against the light armor. Actually, we should bring Grey Opens. That's our pretty advantage here. We have AP and they don't. That's a pretty tall build, which I'm not crazy about. But I guess that's kind of the goal. Is to just keep a tight fight around Kugath. Basically, the plan is going to take my starting army and push up to his safe objective with Kugath, and then my reinforcements can go to holding my objective. Should be made a lot easier if I actually had anti-large scale minos. I wonder how these guys do at killing minos. Pretty well. And Uncle Frunkle? I used Uncle Frunkle last game and it went poorly. We'll try this. Not crazy about the dogs, but if they recharge Fleshhounds, they can do alright. And this gives us a little bit of mobility. We'll try this. What spell kit do I have on Kugath? Okay, I have kit. I did the thing right. No, last game was versus Norska. Against Khorne I don't need him because I have Kugath. I have Big Daddy Kugath. I just need to protect Big Daddy Kugath from big scary Minotaurs. We good here? I'm doubtful for the price. I think the Mortis is plenty for that job. Like his unique ability is alright here, but for only 2 casts, it's not going to do that much damage. And he as a combatant is okay, not exceptional, and he's likely to get swarmed by Minos. Okay, what do we want on the field before we push? Probably at least one spawn. Just to provide some mass so that Kugath can't get surrounded. I could have brought Cultist here. Actually, Cultist would have been a really smart thing to bring. Cultist and maybe the Barons would have been really smart. But on this map, it's a little hard to force a singular blob fight. But Barons on that re-objective would have been a really smart thing to bring. Oh well, live and learn.
The Plague Horde stands together. Share your blessed infections.
Alright, so why are you in that group? Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Marauders of Norska! Brothers in decay.
So yeah, I think going for the right side is just not an option, being at the severe mobility disadvantage that we are. So we're gonna probably push pretty aggressively with Kugath, plant him on that objective, hope that he can hold on his own with what we have here. Then most of these reinforcements are gonna go to a holding major objective. Hello, Henry. What do we got? Marauders of Corn, Valkia, Marauders of Corn. Neat.
A glorious day.
Not a lot of scrum cap yet, which is pretty good for us. Had to get one of these guys leaving on a rear objective while our main force pushes up before we have to start summoning scrum cap to contest his. Which I assume he brought. It'd be pretty silly not to bring Corn scrum cap in general, but especially against Nurgle.
The perfect plague.
Kind of a shame all the trees are there, so we can't actually get some free pot shots on the way.
The Plague Father expects.
We'll try to snipe Valkia. Hey, Kuya, can you hit Valkia? He's pretty accurate, so I wouldn't be that surprised if he can.
Nurgle's pestilent brewmaster.
Any damage? Oh, okay, that wasn't that far off. What do we got? Marauders? Marauders, shocking.
I know.
Yeah, is that Exalted Bloodletters? Interesting. Our spawn should trade pretty well into them. Does Valky have Demon Shield? She does not, so she can't try any shenanigans. And our Exalted Plague Bearers can punish her pretty heavily. She tries things. Like so. The trees will afford her a bit of protection. We'll do a lot of friendly fire, but we should chunk her out pretty heavily, which means she'll have to play a lot more passively. Which is good for us. Alright, she's leaving. Don't waste ammo on her. Those gold bullets are a little concerning.
Marauders of Norska.
Hey, can we get a volley off on her? That's not doing as much as I would hope for the price of those that ammo.
Bring us of sickness.
Alright, we got time for you to go. You guys act like this. Let's try and hold our flank from these marauders. You guys come over here, get some shots. You guys come over here as well. Get up here. Kugath will win the front line for us, no problem. Pull you guys back. We don't really want to fight in the trees. Reach the Hound. Why? Leave these guys here. I don't really want flesh hounds squeaking through that gap, I'll be honest. Get Kugath back there. I want them to spawn in, because a lot of what my opponent has is fairly weak to spawn. Don't waste your ammo on Valkia. Valkia wants to waste her time fighting through chaff. She's feckin' welcome to. There's the skirm calf. Alright, we need some of our own. We need spawn for this exalted blood. Actually, no we don't. We have skirm calf. Alright, guys pushing to the front. Marauders can come sit on this objective. Can I select out a marauder? There we go. We have to stay back and just start turning, and we'll just shoot into those skirm cav. Fury. Why Furies? What are Furies going to accomplish? You guys push up, get them off of the objective as well as off of Kugath. Oh look. Yeah, Exalted Bloodletters. RR. Turn and have you fire in there. I want you to juggle aggro so that we can fire our shots real quick.
Inevitable.
You guys holding that kind of position. Kugeth is getting shot. You want to turn around and do this. Cast that on whatever you can just to get mass heal on our army. Turn you around and shoot.
Seeking Torment. Warriors of Nagel.
Well, Bloodlayers are not doing as well as I would have expected, I'll be honest. You shoot the Hellforge host. You can come and get some shots off as well, if possible. So I'd really love some spawn. What is he doing? He's trying to intercept my reinforcements? That's an interesting choice. Get some shots off there. Both Bloodlayers are dying off pretty quickly, which is good for us. Are you in range? Close enough.
A new brew.
Right, bring these guys up so we need the bodies. Get this on our blob. Good damage there. Push up a little bit. I don't want to move too far off of the objective. Where's the scrum go? Okay. Because I don't want to lose the objective, obviously. We should be fine here. Pull you guys back through here. Why is he flanking so deep, so late? Get you guys through. We really can't afford to lose that objective. So... Get us back around this way. Bring Kugeth in to kill these guys. And yeah, it's time for spawn. We gotta have spawn on the field. Particularly we need to have spawn on this objective. Alright, get your shots off on those Exalted Bloodletters, please. I finish them off. Actually don't, because you might kill Kugeth, and we really, really don't want that. Alright, those Skirmcath are a problem. Need spawn. I assume he's taking the far side, yeah? Yeah. Good, needs to pull back. Picking the Skirmcath a bit. You can be desummoned. Where are you? Gone. Good.
Come on.
Okay, we really need to shut down the skirmers. Skirm. We need our own skirm over there. Where is that? Oh, yeah, that's right, you're running from them. Alright, get some dogs, just we have to pressure the skirms off of Kugeth before he dies. Get fecundity, please.
Yes.
Spreading Kugeth's toxins.
The love of Nurgle.
Okay, just run at them. We gotta get them gone. They need to leave. Honestly, Kugeth can probably still body Valkia from here. He has more HP than she does. Okay, bring the Plague Bears up here. The Skirmcath can just chase them off. They're actually doing pretty good work there. Kugeth is doing just fine, but we need to get some support to him. Get the Exalted Plague Bears over here. We need more bodies. Up a heal. Kugeth can probably beat Valkia from here, but I'm not super confident in that assessment. And we need some bodies over here, so Kugeth needs to move up. Okay, we're holding our rear just fine. Spawn can get here, Warriors move up. Okay, Valkia's gonna take the fight, so we just need to keep popping heals as fast as we can. Keep chasing off their Skirmcath. Get our Skirmcath over here on the objective so we can hold as long as possible. More bodies, please. Yeah, I think we want a little bit more spawn out a little bit earlier. Yeah, Kugeth's in a little bit of trouble. Roots not going to be ignored. Just walk past them. Kugeth is crumbling, which is really, really bad.
Let there be rock.
One, two, three, four. Shit. Well, our lives just got a lot harder. I think we need to spawn out a lot earlier. We need to not get caught. Yeah, getting caught by all those Skirmcath was really bad.
We love the sick. Nazis for Kugeth.
We smell slaughter.
Make them wither.
Yeah, definitely want the spawn out next time before I engage. This Exalted Plague Bear spawn is still a really nasty combo that he has nothing really to deal with. So we could probably still take a lot of this fight, the fight here. We can probably still win that fight.
Warriors of
For the time being, the problem is the constant flow of reinforcements. Whatever happened to those guys we sent chasing? They died. Cool. Alright. Those guys aren't a huge issue. Just keep sending up reinforcements. You're not very useful to me, it's just dessummon. Low plague bears plus spawn. Warriors will be the dogs just fine. As we spawn, get over the flesh hounds. These skull plague bears will deal with a lot of things here. We have some more warriors, even though they are glacially slow. Problem is now we don't have map control and they're flesh hounds, so we're in a lot of trouble. And the Hellforce show is coming back, so we're kind of fucked here.
warriors of Nurgle.
We are big screwed. But we'll go to go.
Orders of Nurgle.
Which the hell? There's 17 of them. We can just ignore them. They're not a problem.
Spreading ruin.
Unless I can kill Valkyria here.
Destroy.
There's one thing Spawn are good at, it's killing Valkyria. So point casts really fast. Yeah, we have a lot of hit points, so. Spawn up here, keep pushing. Reinforcements will deal with the Brutes of the Hound, no problem. Almost all of our reinforcements take so long to get where we need them to be. Just so long. If this push doesn't work out, there's no hope for us. I don't think we're looking too favored up here.
Seeking torment. Very well. Plague and pestilence.
If we kind of do keep us in the fight, you guys need to just keep moving. The flesh hounds aren't the biggest concern. We just need to get on the objectives. But the Hellforce are just chewing up my plague bears. I'm sure you guys winning. It doesn't say if you're winning.
Sent by chaos. Pestilent marauders.
Keep walking past them. Not important. But yeah. Plague bears are fading away, and he's got, yeah, the swarm. It's too hard to fight in that objective. We can't reinforce quickly and don't have a mortis.
You have been bested. There is only defeat.
Oh well, we tried. Yeah, I forgot about cultists and the barons. Those would have been extremely helpful. Alright, so that is it for our stint playing the game. But as soon as this round finishes, we will have the finals, which I will stick around and cast. So let's get our casting UI up. This, alright, what do we have here? Don't need the scores, because, oh no, it will be a best of 3. I think. No, it's not. No, it's not. The way the finals work is people, if there's 2 undefeated players, they will face off. If there's only 1 undefeated player, then the person with the next best score will play them, and the undefeated player will get a second life. So if the person with the worst win record wins the final, then they have to win a second time. I don't think Uncle Frunkle would have won that. Alright, so what's the status of the bracket? Alright, so our game, Nurgle, where's Corn? Alright, so once again we finished pretty quickly, so I'm just gonna hang out for a bit. Alright, who are our front runners for actually being in the finals? So we've got 3 wins. We have Dogperson, Alls, and Serka. So Dogperson was on Skaven, Alls was on Norska, and Serka I assume is on their Wood Elves. That's usually what they play in these. Yep, Wood Elves. Okay, but it's also entirely possible that they all lose. Although, no, they're playing each other, so. Dogperson. Actually, Alls has already won. So Alls is already at 3, so. One of Dogperson and Serka will be in the finals, and then we'll need to do the math to figure out who is in second place to face off with them. Maps for the finals are Needle Mist Isle and Road to Talibai. Got 4 wins but disqualified the guy? Oh, rip. Mercy is for the weak. Just gotta be cutthroat, man. No mercy. First of the finals by your score? What's your score? No, it's hard to count score because it's. I'll be honest, I don't entirely remember how we calculate score for Swisses. I have to remember. Let me read. Alright, so who has All's BTB? Kark, me, Salt Ripper. That's the 3 of us. So All's. Kark has 2. I think I have 1. And Salt Ripper has none. So All's has, what, like 3 points? Yeah, that's pretty cursed. And then who else? Outer Region has 3. Outer Region beat B6, F-Pod, and Alls. So yeah, that's a higher score. So 3 from Alls, 2 from B6, and 1 from F-Pod. So 6 points for Outer Region. So yeah, Outer Region's looking to be pretty good for the finals. You might make it, my dude. Nice, we're just waiting on a couple of games. We got Dogperson, Serka, and then Noctrum and Chromag. Then we can move on to the finals. Just keep refreshing until the scores update. Alright, we're just winning Dogperson Serka, which is the big decider. I wish you could see what was happening in that game. I think the other game was Fiction. No, it was Nocturne with Chromag. I don't think either of them are in the running or affect it. How many points do Dog Person and Serica have? Serica has... Who did they beat? They beat Chromag. They beat Outer Region and Salt Ripper. So Outer Region has 3, so that's 3. Okay, so 6 again, because I think Salt Ripper had 1. I know, Salt Ripper 0, so 5 for Serica. Okay, so if Serica loses, then it's going to be Outer Region in the finals. Then Dog Person... who did Dog Person beat? Noctrum... Kark, and I think it was me first round, yeah? Yeah, me. So... Noctrum has 3. I have 1, Kark has 2, so it's 6. So... if Serica wins this game, then Dog Person I think is still in the finals because they have better leaderboard score than Outer Region. Game's always fun to watch. Yeah, games are good. Hey, Happy. We are waiting on this last game to finish up, and then we're gonna cast the finals. Just got a nice little Swiss SFT tonight. Waiting on this game to finish so we can get in the finals. And I already forgot the mental math I did. So if Dog Person wins, it's Dog Person versus Outer Region. If Serica wins, it's a rematch of Serica versus Dog Person. I think that's how the math went. Okay. How you doing, Huppy? Nice. It's full of goop. Always nice. And you bring the land battle crew over? You bring the whole Discord with you? Ah, COVID. Fun. One question: how does Nerva possibly deal with a Dread Saurian? Can't bring the browser. Throwing axes. Throwing axes will do really good work against it. I don't know. I assume like if you went like double Great and Clean one, you'd probably also be able to deal with it. But throwing axes are the easier way. I think I saw who won. Just I peeked into the Discord and saw the stream, but they haven't reported the scores. Alright, what was the math again? Dog Person has... I should have wrote this down. Noctrum, myself, Kark. So that's I think 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so 6. And then the other tiebreaker is total down leaderboard ranking, which I believe Dogperson's near the top these days. Yeah, Dogperson's 4th in leaderboard, so if Serica wins, Dogperson's in. Then if Serica wins, it's a rematch. If Dogperson wins, it's out of region. But they need to report the scores. Oh, they did. Nice. Okay, so Serica wins, so it is a rematch. Do I have a screen blocker? What screen blocker is this? Oh, that's not appropriate anymore. Let's get the correct one. There we go. So we have, I believe it is Serica's Wood Elves versus Dogperson's Skaven. Dogperson playing Skaven instead of Norska? Correct. And, yeah, so close. Out of region. So close. Alright, so we are here with Skaven Bretonia on Needle Style, and we can finally upgrade those nameplates. So we have Serica, also known as Nerxa. Again, don't know how to pronounce the name, sorry. And we have Dogperson. Because Blade Singers did wreck because they thought there's more ranged. Yeah. Yeah, Serica really likes the melee Wood Elf style. Not a whole lot of archer spam out of that one. Next to finer things in life. I don't know if I'd call elves finer things. Elves are pretty smelly. These two elves go melee. Yeah, it's been pretty common lately. Ever since the War Dancer buff, there's been a lot of Wood Elf players taking melee rushes. Neither one of them has changed their build in a while, so I'm kind of curious what's going on here. To some extent, going off meta helps you. Well, quick one, but it's less of an aspect in Dom because you have so much of a much bigger army, so you can account for everything. Like in a land battle, you have a much more restrictive funds, so You kind of have to be really choosy about what you bring. Whereas in Dom, you have so many funds that you can often just bring an answer to most things. Or at least, you know, some contingency. Even if it's not a hard counter, you can usually account for things to some degree. I think Chorfs will do. Probably do alright. Like I was saying earlier, I haven't actually watched most of the gameplay of them, so I don't have the greatest idea of what they do, but they have solid chaff, good armor. I don't know how their shooting is going to be. The shotgun's going to be probably pretty hit or miss. What is it, the Molten Guard or something like that? Like the hybrid shotgun melee infantry? Not sure how they're going to do. They're probably either going to be like completely useless or big OP. Kind of scared of them. Also kind of scared of their SEM artillery, the trains. The trains are super cool, but if that kind of is good, it's going to be really obnoxious to play against. So I'm a little concerned about that. I suspect just by virtue of being new, they'll probably be incredibly overpowered when they drop. The dog person is ready. The Skaven clans have mustered. Must have 49 AP missile stats. Okay. How much do they cost? Those stats are great until I realize the price tag is like 3k. Then it's not so great. Yeah. Like on paper they seem like a good unit. It's just a matter of A, do their animations work properly? Like that's probably have like Streltsy. Streltsy seem like a great unit on paper, but their animations in melee mean they're useless. Their missile strength is okay. I think also like their range, you know, all that. But and then of course price. Price is the big one. Now the other problem with those elite hybrid units is like kind of the issue we have with Sisters of Avalorn, where you pay for so much for melee stats that you don't want to use. Like you want to use them as a missile unit, but they have all these. That means you have all these melee stats you bought that they're just going to waste. It costs Streltsy stats. They cost the same as Streltsy. That sounds pretty busted. Yeah. Basic Dwarf Warriors cost 700? They do? What do you mean basic Chorf Warriors? Alright, let's get into this game. Again, I assume you mean Chorf Warriors, not Dwarf Warriors, because Dwarf Warriors are a lot cheaper than that. Yeah, okay. Alright, so we got elves over here, rats over here. So, what went first? Alright. What else? So we got a Bladesinger rush, just like we were talking about before. Bladesingers and Treekin. Treekin are nice in Skaven. Skaven always struggle to kill monster infantry, much more so when they are armored, though their damage output is pretty underwhelming. A Spillweaver of Dark, which is just a mana battery with Power of Darkness. We have an Earth Caster, which is the real caster with the passive spamming. Two cheap ones to trigger the Life Bloom as much as possible, because all that percent base HP healing for your entire army is pretty darn good. And that seems to be it, just a good old-fashioned rush. First game, we have Quad Slingers, looks like a mix of Gutter Runners and Night Runners. Big ol' wall of Clanart Spears, backed up by Clanart's shields and swords. Chieftain for the power grab shenanigans, the Lord to be desummoned, and some Rogers, including the ROR. Pretty similar to the build we saw against my Nurgle earlier. Looks like the players are ready, so let's get this going. So this game, are probably going to want to kite pretty heavily when this starts up. This Wood Elf rush is pretty brutal. It's got a lot of money just focused and just running at the Skaven and chewing through the clan rats, and these blades are actually just lawnmower right through those clan rats, so. You're gonna kite as much as you can. Probably just wear down the blade singers. This is a much softer target, or war dancers, sorry. They're a much softer target than the Treekin. So just focus them to your skirm and wear them down before you get into melee. And looks like Norska is just opting to go straight for the trees on the far side. Not a bad idea. If you can just take this position and hide from the skirms in here. Excuse me. That sets them up for a really, really nice position to just collapse on the Skaven wherever else they're on the map. To me, it's basically Skaven can't come out here without being completely surrounded. They come out to push out the objectives at all, they're just completely surrounded. So it's a pretty bold tactic, but I like it. Sorry about that, just something down the wrong pipe. Anyway, yeah, so pushing up, trying to bottleneck the Skaven. But it does leave you pretty far from your reinforcements. Though your reinforcements are pretty quick, as what else? I mean, your infantry's, what, 33 speed? It's not terrible. Skirms are shooting in, and just like I said, focus fire, the war dancers try and wear them down as they are the softest target. That's what's being pretty pricey for infantry, so I like this. But you need to be a little careful. The tree can pushing up on you and start skirmishing pretty heavily. You just want to kite pretty hard to escape in this matchup, I suspect. Radars coming in, and the Radars actually do a pretty good number on Treekin in a straight 1v1. You know, their AP, they have much better offensive stats. So actually have on par, especially with spear support. They need these blade singers to come over and support them if they actually want to take that fight. As is those Treekin are in a lot of trouble. Given Awakening of the Wood coming in, just trying to prop that passive healing. Give these guys just a little bit extra HP, but they are getting pounded by ogres and spears. Let's got a single deep wood scout coming in. What is Skaven summoning? Skaven just banking a load of resources. Probably going to be summoning in like Ikat Claw or somebody. That's still a lot of money for that. Do you see like a Gracie Iron Bell? Because we saw some unique magic picks earlier. We didn't see Flinting Ruins, so I'm curious what we're going to see. Oops. Alright, what lord do we got coming in? We have Ikat Claw. He is on a Doom Wheel. Flinting Ruin, Howling Warp Gale, Warp Lightning, Storm Demon. That's a very kitted Ikat Claw. That's very expensive. Radagers and Druid are going pretty even. Love to see Spears actually push up and get involved in that. That fight would be going a lot better for you if they did. But now the Elf Rush comes in and the Wood Elves are fighting in their natural habitat in the woods. Getting right up in there and starting to do damage. We got, what is this, a Brass Orb coming in, I presume? Yeah, Brass Orb. Doing some good damage to the War Dancers, but not, It's the Treekin, doesn't really do a lot for the Elves. They're pretty spread out. Ikolot's coming in and trying to terror out, but there's not a whole lot to terror out here. Most of the Elves are ITP. Skirmish Fire is taking out the Treekin. These Treekins have been holding for so long. They've almost killed the Pitfire of Hellseed. They've been absorbing Missile Fire for so long. I feel like Skaven just don't have a whole lot of killing power for these Treekin. You really gotta just wear down the War Dancers first, and then get the Treekin isolated with Radovers in the blob. Just like we're doing right here, the War Dancers are getting worn down, and the Treekin are isolated. Perfect. Now get some Radovers here to punish them, get some spears on them. Slingers are doing good work, just firing in pretty much uncontested. We have some Clay Dwarves coming from the side, which should be a bit of a nuisance, and Dryads as well. Dryads have always been really good to Skaven. They just do absolute loads of work on the frontline charge. And just really good weapon strength, really good melee attack. They'll chew through clan rats like nobody's business. They're really, really solid choice. Deep Wood Scouts are firing in onto, what are they shooting at? The RR Radovers, looks like it. Not a bad choice, but the value is going pretty heavily in the favor of Dogmas for now, though the values pick up rather slowly in general. There's not a whole lot of fighting happening just yet, I'd say. Still a lot of Wood Elf units hiding back there in the trees. Again, piecemealing is engaged, which I feel like is just a mistake. Piecemealing like this just means the Skaven get to focus fire onto whatever unit you send in, and it just feels like a really, really good way to fight if you happen to be a rat. So, got here, Chemical Tail Slashers fighting the front line, Radagers trying to contain all the Dryads flank, and the Blade Riders coming in. Do some good work in this little charge here. I love me some Radogers, man. Or they're not going to charge and just going to waltz through, as is customary, I suppose. However, Elders are being focus fired, but they have so much Fizz resist and Missile resist and armor that these Slingers aren't going to do much to them. They don't have great AP values, so, like, look at just how little damage these guys are taking from all these Slingers firing in. Ikat, on the other hand, hits a little bit harder, so they'll be doing some good work. Flinting Ruin coming down on these Treekin. Doing alright, but they are just such tanky customers. The Vomit of Clan Rats coming in on this side, as well as on the far side. We got some more Glade Rares coming in. Glade Rares is actually pretty hard to contain for this Skaven right here. They don't have a whole lot of mobilities, so even when we saw in the Nurgle game earlier, like I was able to get my Nurgle Knights on these Slingers pretty easily, if they couldn't kill them. There's just not a whole lot in this Skaven build to contain this cavalry. which looks to be pretty problematic, as these slingers are not that well equipped to defend themselves. They have decent melee stats for missing it, but being recharged by Cav will still do a number on them. Pit fighters are still hanging on with just a few models left. I mean, just trying to make the Horned Rat proud and find off these cavalry, but I feel like you need more rat ogres in your backfield to just protect you from all this cav charges. Alright, the fight in the trees is actually going pretty well for somebody, I think. I don't know, the War Dances aren't really cutting through the Skaven chaff as fast as you would hope. And the Skaven actually being able to value trade pretty effectively, keep these archers online for a long time. Not archers, slingers. But now that Cav flanking's coming in, we got a Warp Lightning coming in. Well, not going to catch a whole lot of models. But the Cav charge is doing good work to break off all these slingers and deny that fire support to the Wood Elves. Oh. Yeah. Most of the slingers are offline now, which is really, really good for the Wood Elves. They're down about 1,000 value, but they should come back as the reinforcements are much, much better. And without a whole lot of support, the Skaven infantry will just crumble into any of this Wood Elf frontline. The Dryad, the Treekin, the War Dances, they'll all tear it apart. They really need those slingers online, or the Rat Ogres coming in over the top to actually help win out in that fight. And it looks like the Wood Elves are starting to get towards the center objective. They're forcing a lot of this fighting towards Skaven spawn, just denying them space on the objective, and all their units out here are just getting isolated and taken apart one by one by the mobility. But the Skaven value lead is still pretty hefty, and some of these slingers have started to rally. You know, that's the beauty of Skaven. Your units rout, and they come right on back and just keep fighting. Which is really, really nice. Another Warp Lightning coming in over here in the blob. Nice damage on those Dryads. Just look at this pile of corpses in the center already, jeez. Excuse me. But yeah, the Dryads and the Blade Singer, or the War Dances, are really hard to shut down. I feel like you really want a globe here. There's just so much infantry. A globe, like a single Globadier or a mortar, would just do so much work here. Like, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 infantry's blob in the center there. Just one globe would do so much work. Like, it's a little hard to protect, I guess. But you have so many bodies in the field. Like, you have plenty of... Well, not anymore. Like, the box didn't collapse pretty well by the Wood Elves. But initially, you had so much place to protect them. I feel like just a single globe goes a long way for you. Breath Orb coming in as well. It gets just trying his darndest. Alright, 2k value, doing pretty well. We got another Warp Lightning coming in. Nice damage on those Dryads. And Icked's doing a good job clearing the chaff, but I wonder if it's just too little too late. The objectives are starting to flip. The Skaven still have a pretty hefty value lead, but I wonder if that's not equalized by the fact that A, Wood Elves have that healing pass to spam, as well as the Skaven just rout with so much HP left. There's so much comp potential just wasted by the leadership of the Skaven. Even with the power grab cheese, they're still doing pretty poorly on the leadership front. So we do have some more Slayers coming back in, as well as some Rat Ogres and a lot of the value trading pieces. But Skaven just look to be really being shoved off the map here. They don't control much of the map. Their infantry just seems to be in tatters. Their front line is just gone. There's just one blob in the center, a couple of tattered pieces on the flanks, and these Slayers just blobbed up and just perfectly set up for one cav unit to come in and just waste all of them. That's it. The center blob fight is going pretty well for this Skaven. A single infantry unit can't really stand up against all of these Rat Ogres, and this is actually a big problem for the Wood Elves. They don't have a whole lot of anti-Rat Ogre pieces. They have a single Deepwood Scout, which is almost out of ammo. Other than that, they have no real anti-large. Sorry, don't know what's gotten into me tonight. The tree can actually do pretty well at dealing with the Rat Ogres, but it's a very, very slow thing, and it takes a while to actually get through. Like, it just takes so much time, as we saw earlier. So it's not really an effective means of shutting down these Rat Ogres, which are free to in the meantime, just rampage to the infantry. This is a really common tactic for Skaven. It's just having your Rat Ogres fight on top of your infantry to make your front line actually useful. And it's actually pretty hard to shut down. The value lead looks like it's actually starting to swing pretty heavily in favor of the Skaven, and actually starting to show on the map. Like, the eye test is starting to favor them as well. There's just so many Wood Elves routing, a lot of tattered infantry units, a lot of elite units just starting to run away. Yeah, not elite maybe, but, you know, mid-tier. There's still a bunch of units just fighting back here in the backfield. These clan archers just holding on and wasting the time of this much superior unit that's 320 kills, but still hasn't paid for itself because it's just fighting chaff. Like, there's just nothing here that's valuable for it to fight. It needs to come over here and start strengthening these slingers or actually getting on these objectives. And the Wood Elves, I worry about their ability to reinforce. You know, a lot of their units are still tattered and not back in their summoning pool. So they're actually going to have a pretty hard time getting back on these objectives in a reasonable amount of time, whereas Skaven, they're routing all the time and coming back, so they have just plenty of units to reinforce at all times. They have Rat Ogres come over here, protect Objective 3, or Objective 1 from the back half of time from the Wood Elves. And now Objective 2 is starting to flip back in favor of the Skaven, as this blob fight is going very, very heavily in favor of these Rat Ogres, who are just doing the work of the Horned Rat on the front lines. Although I think a lot of credit has to be given to Aked, who is probably up to 3k value by now. 2700. The Warp Lightnings have been pretty nice, as well as the Brass Orbs, just clearing out the chaff as much as possible. But he's starting to run low on WoW, I'd wager. He's been using a lot of spells left and right. He's summoning on those Unit Scouts, some Tattered Infantry rallying, and in the back we do have a bit of a cheeky back half attempt, but there are some Eternal Guard here to make sure those clan rats can have their way with the objective. But there are reinforcements coming for the rats, with only a couple of Tattered War Dancers and Glade Riders to shut it down. And this is the problem with dealing with Skaven. There's just so many bodies on the field, it can be really hard to actually shut them all down. You just look at all these ratty boys. Yeah, and what else are really starting to feel that they're just being spread thin, their resources being taxed very, very heavily. Just having a hard time dealing with all the bodies. There's just a constant supply of rats that just chew through all these bodies. And no, even though your units are much higher quality, like we saw these War Dancers, they've gotten almost 400 kills and still haven't even paid for themselves. Well, they're almost there. But there's just so many bodies, and the rat ogres piled on top of them makes them trade so much better than the slingers. You know, they're not even that expensive, so if you do shut them down, there's another one to take its place before very long. That's the horror of dealing with the Skaven. It's just there's always another body, especially with this kind of build. It's like, well, there's nothing really high value to target, so it's just a constant grind. Slingers are about to get shut down by some Blade Riders, but they're out of ammo anyway, so you don't really care about keeping them online. The Skaven. Objective 1 is pretty secure. There's a bunch of Clan Rat Spears here, which should be, 2-on-1, this should be Dryad, I hope. I would really, really hope. Center objective has flipped in favor of the Skaven, and the back half attempt is in full swing. It gets lending his might over here as well. Firebark Elders are coming over, but they are in tatters, so they won't hold that long. They're being healed? No, the lore passive. What do we have here? Is that a Skaven? Oh, it's Storm Demon. My goodness, that did a lot of damage. I didn't realize that was so good against infantry. That was doing loads and loads of work. That took almost half health off a War Dancer. That was a fresh War Dancer, wasn't it? Okay, I think they were resummoned. Or I'm crazy. Also possible. Another nice Warp Lightning coming down here. Give me a baby. Oh, yes. Not a bad chap clearing spell. It's not one you see a whole lot because it's just so overshadowed by Flimsing Ruin or the summons or there's always been some spells better than it, but it's a really solid chap clearing spell. It's not one you see much outside of campaign, unfortunately, though. Yeah, back half attempt still being shut down. Mid-fight just seems to go pretty heavily in favor of this Skaven. And we do have a Plague Claw Cavalry being summoned, which is so good in this late game scenario. Because of this Contaminate effect for -10 leadership, as well as the attack by artillery debuff, means that these War Dancers that are holding on just fine, as soon as they get hit with those Plague Claws, their leadership is in a tank and they're going to run away much sooner than they would otherwise. But that requires Plague Claw to actually hit them. Come on, you can do it. I know you're rats, but you can hit a target. Hey, there we go. Contaminated effect. There we go. And now the Bladesingers are breaking. Earthblood coming to try to save them, but it's too late. They're contaminated. They're routing, leaving the Treekin to fight these Rat Ogres and these Spears by themselves. Another nice Warp Lightning coming in from Dog Person's Skaven. It's really, really nice damage to War Dancers. Naked Claw is just racking up the value, seeing so much value. Naked Claw is just such a nasty caster these days. How's the back cap attempt going? Well, we got a single Clan Rat surrounded by a lot of Wood Elf units. That's not going to go anywhere. But fortunately for this game, they don't have to. If they can hold the center objective, but it looks like they are starting to wear thin. They're grasping out, but they do have a lot of Clan Rats coming in. They are... Oh, that's right. Clan Rats aren't expendable. You keep forgetting that. So they have full capture weight, so they should be able to get on here. If they can hold this objective for a few more minutes, they'll be in a good spot. And the Wood Elves are running thin. There's a couple of War Dancers, a couple of Eternal Guard, a couple of trees. But this second tide of Skaven, if they can get on the objective before it flips, they can hold it for a long time. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen. They can't quite get on the objective. Looks like Wood Elves are going to flip it. Are they going to flip? It does flip for the Wood Elves. The Wood Elves have it. So that actually keeps the Wood Elves in the game pretty heavily. They were pretty far behind in value and have been the whole game. But they're hanging on to these objectives and keeping the ticket lead very, very close. And the Skaven just look at all the units routing in the center. There's more and more coming in, but they just have so far to go and so many Wood Elves to kill to get there. Not to mention trees and dryads and cavalry. Well, that's actually a pretty decent hold in the center, but the Skaven capture weight spam is going to be overwhelming them pretty soon. Plague Claw is doing very, very good work already. It's only been out there for a little bit. How much value is that bad boy got? 25 kills, 200 value, not that bad for how long it's been there. Another nice Warp Lightning, do a good chunk off those Treekin. No real backup attempt going on that side. That one's been shut down, but honestly, the resources dedicated to shutting down this backup attempt has been much greater than the resources committed to backcapping. That's a pretty good trade for the Skaven. Now this Skaven really just need to get bodies on that center objective, which is something that Skaven excel at doing with so many bodies, but they're just being worn out by this vastly superior infantry from the Wood Elves. They're looking pretty dire for the Rats, despite their hefty value lead. They're in a pretty rough spot. More and more Dryads coming in, and it's just so hard to kill a Dryad for Skaven. Like, you need a Rat Ogre and an infantry to kill them in melee without, spells or missiles, which you don't have a whole lot of shooting left. So it's just really, really hard for Skaven to really bog down these Dryads and take them out. More Blades. Oh, these are Bladesingers coming in now. Speaking of lawnmower units. Haven't gotten to melee just yet, but once they do, these Clan Rats are going to get absolutely lawnmowed. The Skaven capture rate game is coming in strong. There's just more and more bodies where that came from. You know, Skaven life is cheap. This is what they excel at, just giving out more and more bodies, sacrificing them for the horned rat. But I don't know. I think looks like a massive rout coming in. The Plague Cavalry doing absolute work against this army, and we got another King of the Woods coming in here, trying to slow them down before they can on the objective. It looks like there's just not a lot of bodies. The mass rout from the Plague Claws coming in and doing really, really good work. And yeah, looks like Skaven are going to be able to flip it back pretty quickly, and there's so many more reinforcements. Compare the Wood Elf reinforcement, it's just a single War Dancer, a Cav unit, a Dryad, whereas over here we have Clan Rat. Just so many bodies, so much reinforcement. You have to have such high DPS throughout the entire game to just keep off this constant tide of rats. It's just a full Vermintide style, and it seems to be pretty darn effective. Another Storm Demon coming in. That can do it to those Blade Singers. Oh, I may have overlooked that ability. That's pretty darn good. That just took like 6 HP off an elite unit. Now we do have the caster coming in and trying gooning out Ikit, who is extremely low, but this isn't exactly a combat character, although they have decent melee stats. Ikit needs to stay alive though. Losing Ikit could be the one way Skaven throw this game really hard. There's just such a massive blob of rats on the point, and more streaming in by the moment. Just so hard for the Wood Elves to actually get a cap weight advantage here without just chewing through all these rats. I feel like Wood Elves just need a Pterosaurus here. I don't know what Pterosaurs they bring. They're already almost all pretty expensive, but just a Pterosaurus do so much. Look at all these lower leadership clan rats. The capture weight is slipping in favor of the Wood Elves, and on the sides, still nothing happening back over there, nothing back happening over here. Looks like Wood Elves are going to start to flip it, but they are down in tickets now, so they need to get it, and they need to hold it pretty well. One of these War Dancers, the Blade Singers still alive, just hang on by a thread. The Vulcan Tail Saucers, but the mass rout for the Skaven is actually hurting them so much. The Skaven leadership coming to play. Looks like Wood Elves are going to flip the cap, and is there going to be another second win from the Skaven? I don't think there is. There's a lot of Wood Elves on this field here. Shrieking, my god, just look at this pile of bodies, both living and dead. There's just so many here. So many rats and trees, and the Doom Wheel is still just kicking around over there on exceptionally low health and actually being chased off. Losing Ikit here could be massive. If Skaven don't have their lord, they're not getting back on this objective ever. Their leadership's just not going to last. The War Dance and the Blade Singers will chew through them too fast. Their leadership will get tanked, and I don't think Skaven actually get back on here in time. They've got a second wind. All their units that routed are starting to come back, but that's just going to be a flash in the pan. Their leadership isn't high enough to actually stay on this objective. They're too low HP. There's a single clan rat that's fresh. There's just so many elves on this point. I don't think Skaven can get back on here in time. I think Skaven might just be out of luck. The Plague Cavalry doing so much work, though. The problem is it's hitting your own units as well and doing a lot of damage to them. Does it actually apply the leadership debuff? Yeah, damage by artillery and attack in the rear from friendly fire, I think. Which means that they're just screwed. They're not getting back on this objective. I think Wood Elves have it. Just look at the Skaven running for the hills, as is their way, but the Wood Elves are going to win from a massive value deficit. Just hang on this point, relying on that superior quality infantry and just grinding it out with that lore passive as well. Those are life, only 500 value on paper, but the amount of healing given to all this infantry that's just grinding the front line throughout the entire game has given them so much sustain that they wouldn't have had otherwise. And I can't but feel that just a single globe here could have made the difference. There's just so much infantry spam from the Wood Elves. I can't just imagine one single globe in the center blob fight throughout the game, just chunking out those elite Wood Elf infantry, and it's done so much work. But as it is, Skaven are falling behind in tickets, and the Wood Elves are almost there. They only need another 70 points, be about 30 seconds if they can hold, which I don't see a lot of Skaven coming for this objective. Nope, no backup attempt. So I think the Wood Elves have this. I don't think Skaven can get on this objective in time. There's just no more rats in the tank. Dryads are finally getting on top of that Plague Claw and shutting it down. I think Serica's taking it. Got about 10 seconds to go, and yeah, there's no rats here. Serica's got it. Very, very well played. You know, it was looking pretty bad there in the middle. Skaven had that big second win, came in and just took over the objective and just routed off all of the Wood Elf infantry, but that, you know, they got their own second win. They got their infantry back in their pool, resummoned it, got back, and just really, really struck back with a force, with a vengeance, and really, really shut down that Skaven blob. And look at the kills on these War Dancers. Treekin as well, doing very, very good work. Just look at all these kill counts. Yeah, still, very, pretty good showing this Skaven still. I feel like I would say just one globe would have done so much work here, but now, what was Ikit's final tally? Almost 400 kills, 4,600 value. Jeez. Blake Cabal doing work as well. Yeah. But yeah, there's just not a lot of killing power in this Skaven build. It's just bodies and bodies, which, you know, it wears your opponent down eventually, but I feel like the lore of lifespan really mitigated that. And just the amount of time they were able to hold the center and just cycle their infantry and get that, you know, those lawnmower units on the field. Skaven slingers all as well, just never even used. Interesting. Yeah, one globe would have done a lot of work. Well, the idea is that you protect them from the cav. But that is going to be our tournament for the night. Congratulations to Serica for taking it with his Wood Elves. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all next time.